what are those things called? The wands that you can put the toilet paper in to go down to your ass.
Well, welcome to episode 5 of the Big Fat Tattooed Dad podcast. Today I've got Brandon Doughty, longtime friend of mine. Man, I've known you for like 15 years.
Yeah.
I've known you since we were kids, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. And it's crazy how many people I've recently reconnected with, like, from those times. Like Gerard, Vinny.
Yep.
You know? I ran into Andrew Holbrook's ex-wife, widow, I should say, like a couple weeks ago, which was super
Amber?
weird. Yeah.
Amber?
Yep. Saw her the other day, like a random bar in Brunswick. And yeah, it's just it's weird how, like, you know, one person from 15 years ago that creates a circle, like, it can literally follow you your entire life, which has been a big part of our friendship.
Yeah.
Because after high school, man, like, we never really saw each other for specific reasons, but we were always bumping into each other.
That's true.
Which is crazy.
That's true. Yeah, I remember after we both went to Morse together, and you would, like, I don't remember exactly where you went, but I remember the first time I saw you after that was at the station at I think it was All Shall Perish show.
Oh yeah.
And it was totally out of the blue. Like, I remember I was just on Slam Dancing, and I just went in the back, and you were just there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, I feel like that's how we had seen each other for the past, I don't know, however many years. I mean, I graduated high school in 2010.
So 10, 11 years.
Like all these random times seeing you at, like, shows and stuff, whether it be the station, Wyndham.
Yeah, the Vet Center.
Especially Wyndham. Wyndham is where I first really got to see, because someone told me, hey, do you know Matt Anderson's band? I was like, Matt Anderson? I know Matt Anderson. Like, and then they were telling me about your old bands and stuff, and then I was like, this dude's making a name for himself out here. This is awesome.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. You know, and I've been in a couple different bands, as most of us have.
Yep.
And I think back then it was probably Mara.
Yeah, it was. It was, and I never got to see you guys live, but I remember I was checking out your stuff because they told me you did vocals, and back when I knew you, you were trying to be like a guitarist or a bassist.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know Matt did vocals, so I turned on your tunes, and I was like, Matt does vocals. Like, it sounded good.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
I mean, that kind of came about because, like, you know, Jesse Harbison.
Yep.
So him and I were in a band together, and I played bass in that band, and we had 2 vocalists. And then, like, one of them left, and I was like, oh, I can like figure out how to do, like, the second vocal part.
Yeah.
And Duncan, who is, you know, his moniker is Desmo.
Yep.
You know, he's amazing at everything he does. So, like,
absolutely.
You know, it was I guess easy. I was well trained, or I had a good mentor in that respect. So you know, because again, anything he does, he's amazing at. And we would literally, we would have a separate practice, like, outside of band practice, where we would just work on, like, teaching me how to scream.
Yep.
Which was cool. And then, yeah, I mean, I got pretty good at it, and, you know, now I'm old and do it a lot less. And now I do this. Now I speak softly.
Yeah, that's right.
Into gold mics.
That's right. Yeah, but I just remember being, like, blown away. Like, I had gone off to college at University of Farmington, and I was just, like, away from the music scene. So when I, like, came back after I graduated in 2014, hearing, like, how your band had been up and coming at the time, and I just got to meet so many more people that when I left the music scene initially, I think in, like, 2008, 2009, there's just so many more talented artists around that I had no idea. So it was great, and just to even, like, hear that you'd made a name for yourself with this band, I was just like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was dude, it was a lot of fun. You know, locally it was cool.
Yeah,
touring was cool. You know, anytime anyone remembers anything that you write, feels really cool. You know, and there definitely was, you know, a technology wave. You know, between, like, when you left and when you came back, that made it possible.
Oh yeah.
You know, people like Duncan, people like Gerard, you know, Josh Crocker. Yeah. You know, guys that could proficiently record bands that were fucking dirt poor and still make them sound really good. Like, and, you know, it made it a lot easier for, you know, people that couldn't do it on their own to get something out. Yeah,
it was so funny you bringing up Josh Crocker, longtime friend of mine. He actually did my band's first ever recording in 2000. I want to say 2004, like a long time ago. And how we recorded back then was we were at the Bath Skate Park, which was the scene back in the day where I was from, Bath. So he just put one microphone, he just, like, hung it over something above us. and I had my drums. We had guitarist, bassist, vocalist, and he just hung one microphone over like a pipe or something right above all of us. That was our first EP. It was recorded on that.
That's so funny.
Like, all right, everyone play, and we're gonna hope it sounds good. So we actually we were able to find that CD recently and listen to it. Sounded awful, but it's not because I'm not blaming Josh for that. It's just that's where we were at that point with just getting started.
I remember when he was doing Brutal Intentions, like his mastering technique was going into his truck and just turning it up as loud as he
could. Yep. He would drive around Bath and he said I have to listen to it at full blast because most people, because back then CDs were it. There was no streaming, so you listen to CDs. He's like, this is how everyone's going to hear it. So if it sounds good in my truck, it's going to sound good anyway. Yeah. So it's funny that you remember that. Like, that's... I
remember a lot of really weird things.
That was just his way of doing things. Or even just if he was just having a rough day, he'd be like, let's just drive down the street at Casey Strain at full blast, and let's just do it. So that's funny that you remember that.
One of the conversations I had with Kevin Billingsley about recording, I always found it weird that, and it's not just him, it's any... like really good producer, like they don't do anything with a sub, a subwoofer, and I'm like, well, dude, like I turn the sub all the way up in my car when I'm like, I want to feel it. And I said this to him for like 2 years until one day he was like, all right, dude, have I ever given you an album that sounds like shit? And I was like, well, no, obviously not. And he's like, do I really have to explain myself? And I was like, fucking yeah, you do. I want to know why. And he's like, okay, if I crank the bass on this album and it's on shuffle on your phone, and that song comes up, and you've got your bass turned up all the way already because you want the kick out of the last 30 songs you've heard, and this one comes on and blows your subs because the bass is already doubled, the bass channel's already doubled, like, who the fuck is going to listen to that? I was like, oh.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, Kevin knows his shit. Kevin's very good. Yeah. But I never would have thought about it like that. That's true.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's amazing, dude. He's done stuff like... crazy. I mean, like his name is on like award-winning albums now.
Yeah, it's so awesome to see. Like I remember seeing his band at the Bath Skate Park. Like honestly, in like I think it was 2004, between like 2004 2006. Like that's when I first saw them out there. And back then, like they were just another local band, you know, that we just went and saw. And never did I think that their guitarist one day would go on to. I think. He told me at a show in Wyndham one time that he's helped out with like a Rihanna album. He helped out with a Lamb of God album. I was like, dude, you've made it. Yeah.
And he's so humble about it too.
He's great.
You know?
He is great. He started my my Chipotle obsession, so that was good. That was really good. We did him and I were in a music video for the band Vanna. And
I remember that.
Every single time, because in my part, when I show up in the video, I then go over and I grab him. And every single time I grabbed him, because we shot it multiple times, I say, hey, what's up, Chipotle Daddy? And I think in the cut that made it, if you read his lips, he goes, never gets old you saying that, huh? So so I always bring that up to him when I see him.
Yeah. Right. Dude, if there's anyone that Chipotle should be looking at as far as like an influencer, it's 100% him.
It's him.
Especially like in this region.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, him. I mean, I used to see him posting pictures of him kicking his feet up in between breaks, recording. Yeah. He's just got a huge burrito in one hand, chocolate milk in the other. Like, yeah, he definitely should be.
Or even like, and this is, again, ridiculous that I remember this, but him and, I actually don't know if it's his current girlfriend, but a girl that he was dating, she told him that he could not, in a blind taste test, would not be able to tell the difference between Qdoba. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and
he did it. He did it, dude.
Yeah, and that actually prompted me to try Qdoba, and I've, no offense to Qdoba, but I tried it, and I haven't been back. I'm still just a Chipotle guy.
The only thing I like about Qdoba is that you can get it in a tortilla bowl, like a hard tortilla bowl.
That's true.
That's the only thing.
That's true. You can.
Yeah. But I mean, you put shit in a hard tortilla bowl, it doesn't make it any better.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, man. So, I guess we have a lot to talk about, man. I mean, like I said, we've bumped into each other a bunch of times over the years, but, like...
Not enough to catch up.
No, and like, I know that you were in college because we were talking about playing music together a while ago, and I think you were still studying at that point, and obviously, you just said, like, you went away to college, and I know that the job you have now I'm pretty sure the job you have now is relative to what you studied. Like,
absolutely, I wouldn't have it without it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So what college did you go to?
So I went to the University of Maine in Farmington, and when I initially went there, I went there to be a teacher. So, sure. I was in the music scene, and then I dropped doing that because I wanted to focus on college. I was like, I feel as though I need to just focus on this, so that's what I'm going to do. I initially wanted to go to Berkeley for music.
Yeah.
And this is going to segue into some of my UMF stuff, but I was all set up to go do the tryout for Berkeley to get in. And
for percussion?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was taking lessons. There's a guy by the name of Christian St. Louis who went to Morse. He got in there. I used to, jam around with his brother Mark sometimes, and so I was like, I want to go there too. Mm-hmm. So I was all set up to go there. I had taken some drum lessons, and then I hate to admit this, but I just kind of like gave up on myself. Like I was just like, I don't have enough skill. They want me to do marimba, xylophone, drum kit, individual drum pieces. And I was like, you know what? Because what they do, as far as I know, they put a sheet of paper in front of you, and they want to see how well you can play it. Like, just how well can you do it, and what's your technique like, everything.
Yeah.
And I just doubted myself. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. So I backed out of it, and then went to UMF for teaching. And I bring that up because before I even got to UMF, I withdrew from my teaching major for the same exact reasons. Just totally thought, like, I'm going to be a crap teacher. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of self-doubt, and I didn't have a lot of people at that time that were really telling me, like, nah, you're good. I had people saying, like, yeah, teachers make shit salary. like, yeah, you should totally not do that. So through a bunch of different majors, long story short, I just ended up finding my way into psychology. And, because of that, went into the mental health and human services field. And now I work in HR for a mental health and human services company. Yep. So I would not be where I am without the degree. That's for sure. It's a long journey's taken me here.
Dude, we could have you co-guest a ton of episodes with a ton of the guests I have lined up. We could do some serious psychoanalysis.
Nice.
Because they're all fucked up.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Dude.
Aren't we all? That's one thing I think I really found out in my studies. Like, there's so many different ways you can analyze people, and there's so many different things you can find out that make people who they are. And in turn, has made me think about how I got to where I am.
Yeah.
And how I am.
You ever read a paragraph and go, who the fuck wrote that about me?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm also trying to be a lot more honest with myself. Maybe sometimes too honest. Like, some people think it's getting back into the self-doubt. But it's like, no, I just want to be honest that I feel like this is why I'm thinking this way, so that hopefully I can change it.
Dude, it's my hope. I believe you. I 100% believe you. Do you remember we were at your house, again, we were kids, and we used to play basketball all the time. We'd go to the basketball court.
Yeah.
But we also played basketball in your driveway.
Yep.
And there was one day you were standing, like, in the street, throwing your basketball, like, over your van at the basketball hoop.
Yep.
And you missed, like, a bunch of times, but I was hyping you. I was like, dude, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. And then you got it. And I did the typical, like, oh! I freaked out. You didn't believe you made it.
No, I didn't.
So you've had that pattern, like, most of your life.
Yeah.
Or, like, we'd play, or we wouldn't play shows, but, like, I would follow you guys around all the time. I'd always watch you play shows.
Yep.
And at the end of the show, I'd be like, you were the best drummer there. And you'd be like, you always have some reason, some excuse, or something that would...
I still do.
That would counter my point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I've struggled looking back on it because I do have a lot of those self-doubt moments, but I also had moments where there were a lot of people, and really this only pertained to drumming. I was one of the only drummers around, really the only drummer around. So a lot of people would tell me, like, you're sick. Like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to make it. And so there would be some times where I think my ego would get the best of me. When I was younger, I would like to think I'm not like that anymore. Who knows? But when I was younger, like, yeah, there would be some times where, like, I would be too judgmental of people because I just thought that there would be moments where, I guess if I felt, like I was superior, then I had a good ego then. But most of the time, like you said, yeah, no. I was, especially if I played shows with, like, new local bands, bigger bands, anything like that, like, yeah. I was like, no, I'm the shittiest musician here. Like, like, I don't even know why I'm playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've had struggles with both of those, I feel. And I really only think it's because there were a lot of moments where people did hype me up. And so there would be, times where I would see people, like, starting up their own bands in Bath or the Bath region, and I would just instantly if it wasn't metal or hardcore, I'd just be like, yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I hate that I had that mindset. God, looking back on it, like I was just like, who would hang out with me? like honestly, like, just rough.
I always had the elitist mentality. Like, if it's not, well, at that time, you know, if it wasn't like Norma Jean or like this sounds weird. My parole officer was a really big fan of As I Lay Dying.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, that's not a real fucking metal band because it wasn't Divorce Prod. You know, like it was just a different kind of metal.
Oh yeah,
and like he was just trying to connect with me, you know, and I believe he was actually a fan of like that kind of music. But like in my opinion, that was like fucking, you know, CYY metal. It wasn't real.
Oh yeah,
you know, because too many people knew their name.
Yep.
And you know, it is weird how, and that doesn't come from a place of like being an elitist, but just the, you know, if it's not one thing, then it's not anything.
Yep.
Kind of mind frame. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, that's what growing up's for.
I mean, going off of that, I used to have moments growing up where there was a period of time where I would say that if there was singing in music, like it was dumb.
Yeah.
Like instantly I just wrote it off. I was just like, nope, this is for wimps. Like whatever. I don't even want to listen to it. Like, and I wonder if I did that really to impress my friends. Because I'll be totally honest, there was a moment in my past where one of my buddies growing up, Sean, heard me listening to a 50 Cent album. Walked in, he's like, what is this crap? And he threw it in the trash. So I was like, oh, I don't want to tell people that I like stuff that they'll like make fun of me for.
Yeah.
But then I also just in turn ended up following them of like, well, they think this is stupid. So I'm going to be like, this is stupid. And, again, I don't think I'm like that anymore. Yeah. I really think I've improved as a person. So that's an accomplishment that I'm glad about.
Even, you know, improving as a person as far as like your outward attitude, like improving as a person as far as like not having the need for, you know, validation from outside sources.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's super important. And that's something that I also struggled with my entire life, you know.
Yeah.
Not until probably like, I think like probably 25. I started to put on weight. I had my second kid. And I was like, you know what? Literally nobody fucking matters. No one's going to change how I feel.
Yep.
People love me. People hate me. You know, people disagree with me. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I should say I don't give a fuck, and like it's not gonna affect my mindset. You know, I care. Like, if you disagree with me about something, like I'd love to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's cool. I feel like that you have to have that in life.
Absolutely.
You know, but it's not like, you know, he doesn't listen to music that has singing. Like, he's obviously an idiot. Like, you could think that, dude, but like, why? You know, like, it's just like a different. It's more about growth, like you said.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, I was off social media for like the past 4 years because I was trying to. Before that, I felt like I was constantly posting stuff to get likes, to get attention. That's all I was focusing on.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I need to step away from this because this isn't healthy.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't what life's all about. And like you said, being off social media the past 4 years, I was able to sort of just be like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if my post doesn't get a number of likes that I want it to get or doesn't get enough exposure. So now that I'm back on social media, you know, I just post what I want to post, and I find myself liking a lot more stuff. Like I used to be like, oh, these people just post pictures of their kids all the time, and now I'm like, oh, it's just because they're proud of it. Like, yeah, cool. Like, I'm gonna give them a like. Like, you know, it's like you just have a totally different mindset.
Touching on that real quick, because it's gonna become a reality for you very soon.
Yes, it is.
Just so you know, having a kid turns you into a fucking bitch.
Okay, that's good to know,
dude. And
to prep myself.
It's instant, and it's unexpected, and it's real. And I'll tell you, like, I don't know why. Like, women, it changes, obviously. Like, you know, their like hormone levels change, like their body changes, like everything. Like, their body like adjusts and shifts, and fucking bones move, and all this stuff happens, and like, so it's obvious why it would affect them. But like, as a dude, you didn't do very much. You know what I mean? And then. Like Tom Segura says, you know, you dumped inside a girl and now there's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's your contribution.
Yeah. And for the next 9 months, like, what, I mean, you get a pillow, you know, you go get the weird food, like, whatever.
Yep.
But there's so many things that I was like wildly insensitive to that after you have a kid, you'll call me when this happens because you'd be like, dude, it just happened. You're gonna cry when the child's born, and you should. Everybody does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
hope to.
Yeah,
I hope to.
The darkest, most soulless person ever is gonna cry when their child's born.
Well, I hope I'm allowed to even be in there. First off, given what this year has been.
I didn't even think of that.
But regardless, knowing that it's there, yeah.
Yeah.
I can be an emotional guy, so I would like to.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Like, it's weird things that, like, wouldn't have affected you before. Like, or things that, like, you can recognize as sad, but they wouldn't necessarily make you sad, but you can see why they would make somebody sad, are now going to make you cry.
Awesome.
Or things
I
like,
can't wait.
I always reference this one specific thing. This is when I noticed it. You watch Family Guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you ever see the episode where Stewie, I don't know if he fell or like whatever, but he was like unconscious for the entire episode, and they were putting different hats on him to like cover the cut on his head?
Oh, I think so.
The family was trying to hide it from Lois.
Yep.
Okay. And this whole time they're trying to hide it, and like there's even one part where they're like, "Oh, who put that hat on him?" And they go to take it off, and it's a live raccoon that's like biting at his cut.
Yeah.
And at the last like 30 seconds of the episode, Lois is like leaving, backing down the driveway, and Peter grabs Stewie, the baby, by the foot, whips him out the back door into the driveway underneath the car, so Lois runs him over, so it's her fault. The first time I saw it, it was so funny. It was so funny. The next time I saw it, I was literally holding like my 3-month-old son, and I was like, I'm fucking writing a letter to Congress. And like, it hurt me, and I was sad, and like, now I see those like military dad comes home for the first time at the school basketball game, and I used to be like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh my God, I'm fucking like crying at work. Like there's something in your brain that changes, dude.
Those already get me emotional sometimes, so yeah, this should be good.
Yeah. And you're having a daughter on your first one.
Yep.
Yeah, so I had 2 boys at first.
Yeah.
And she has definitely affected me more, like made me softer than they ever did. You know, like you have boys and like they get hurt and you're like, all right, man up, let's go, you know?
Yep.
Like, if they're not actually injured.
Yeah.
You know, and then, like, my daughter Lennox, she'll get into something, and I'll go, hey, no. And she'll go, and I'm like, oh, I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want. Like, it's the worst. It's the worst.
I'm already, like, I wanted a girl. I'll let that be known first off. Like,
oh, cool.
Because I was kind of, like, thinking of it. The world doesn't need another me. Like, I was a little shit growing up, and, you know, even though she kind of is a little me, like, I mean just, like, a boy. Like, just boy with boy tendencies. So, and I've already said, like, I have all these plans for what I want to do. And my wife has to stop me and be like, none of it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, or as far as, like, who you want to be, how you, like, I'm trying to get it down to, like, how I'm going to parent. And everyone, including her, is telling me, like, just don't plan. Just don't plan. You can try to plan for stuff. You can try to be as prepared as you want to. Just know, yeah, she's going to get away with some stuff. As much as you say, like, nope, I'm going to be this kind of dad. Like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're just not. So I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Dude, it is fucking wild. Every part of it's wild. Like, you know, I have 3 kids now. I have my oldest will be 9 in like 2 weeks.
Which is insane.
I know.
It's absolutely insane.
And then my middle child is 4. My daughter is like 1.5-ish. And it certainly gets easy. Like, you know, when I had my first kid, I turned 20 in October and had a child in December.
Yeah.
You know, and I was still like heavy into drugs, playing a lot of music. Like, I definitely wasn't ready. And, you know, I feel like even if I was a little more well-rounded, it still would have been hard. Like, everybody goes through hardships in their life.
Yeah.
But the thing about a hardship is, like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know when it's going to be easier. You know when it's going to flip.
Yeah.
The first time you have a kid, the first week is insanely easy because they sleep a lot.
Yeah.
Day 8 is just, it gets awful.
There's chaos.
Yeah, there's no more sleeping. Feeding schedule's fucked up, you know? And you're like, she already knows what to do because the second that child came out of her, she was like, okay, I know everything. You know, all women are like that. I don't know how, but they are. You're still an idiot. And you have to learn like every single day. Every day is a challenge because you didn't retain anything from the day before because you're exhausted.
Yep.
And eventually, like 6 months in, you're gonna be like, "Where's the light? When does it get fucking easier?" And then your kid will. Well, for me, it was catch a football for the first time.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, "Oh, okay, all right. This is where it gets easier." Second child was really easy. Third kid's just a walk in the park.
Well, good.
Yeah. So.
I don't know if I'll have one beyond this one. I'm
Yeah.
not thinking that far ahead. I'm
Sure.
trying to just get past this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, a lot of the things you just mentioned, especially the sleepless nights, it's, you know, I'm trying to plan for that. I mean, you can't really plan for sleep deprivation, I feel.
And you can't plan for, like, what your emotional state will be or how you're going to treat each other in those times. Like, it's all fucking random. You know? It's just neutrons and emotions and, like, you have no idea what to do, what's going on.
I'm already trying to set up, like, my own personal, like, work studio type stuff, like, how I can map out drums and stuff, because I'm like, look, if I'm going to be staying up all night with this kid potentially, I'm going to need something to do. I'm going to need to feel like I'm productive. So probably even going to annoy the hell out of a lot of my friends and be like, hey, do you need like 18 drum tracks? Because I got them.
Yeah.
Like, here, let's just go. So
and
I'm trying to prep.
Stay connected with other dads.
I want to.
That's huge.
That's for sure.
Because one of the biggest things that you'll do wrong, that we all do wrong as dads, is not give her enough time by herself. Or enough time to recover, or enough time to rest.
Yeah.
And for young dads especially, the reason we do that is because, one, we still want to be young.
Yep.
We still want to be young men. We still want to do young man shit.
Yeah.
And we can't do a lot of that right now anyway.
Still want your life,
of COVID.
yeah.
Exactly. But not only, it's a lot easier to keep that feeling if you stay connected with other young dads.
Yep.
Because, like, me as a dad by myself, I don't know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? But you get 3 or 4 dads together and, 3 or 4 or 6 kids together, and you just meet up somewhere. Like, the dads just sit in a circle and the kids just do whatever they want. But, it gives her time.
Yeah.
Giving her time is going to be super important.
Yeah. True.
But you got to have people to talk to, man. Like, you can't. One of the worst mistakes you can make as a brand new parent is isolating yourself. Which I know right now we're all supposed to be isolating ourselves, but like,
true.
Keep an open line of communication, you know, with as many people as you can.
Yeah, and I want to do that. I don't want to. I know right now I'm trying to get a lot of stuff accomplished before my life completely changes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also know that, thankfully, I'm 28 right now, so a lot of people are telling me like, you're having a kid late. Like, a lot of my friends had kids earlier.
For this generation, it's wildly late.
Yeah, so I have friends already telling me like, bring your kid over. Our kids are going to hang out so that, we can all just sort of be together, have time together. So I am trying to get ready for that, and just, I don't know, my daughter will have to play with a bunch of older kids, and they'll probably try and dress her up, and I'll just be like, this is our life, honey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need to, I don't know, I need to jam. I need to hang out. I need to just...
Dude, in the summertime, we open the garage doors. We play music in here. The kids just run around the yard. We set up like water slides and stuff outside, and like...
oh, you have like your own concerts?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do the kids like slam dance?
Dude, have you not seen... Oh, you're not on social media. Dude, there are so many photos. The last show we were able to play, Carter was at.
Really?
He's just wearing the big earmuffs.
Yeah.
And running around. And, like, he's been in the scene so long that, like, people know him. They respect it. They give him a little bit of space. They let him dance and then, pull him back in.
Yep.
He crowd surfs and shit. Like...
That's awesome.
There's pictures of him, like, 2 years old, holding a nail polish bottle with his foot up on one of his toy trains. Like...
nice.
Yeah. Your kids are... They're heavily, heavily influenced by what they see, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're not watching TV or fucking social media every day. Like, their only influence is you.
That's true.
So, both of my boys are, birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I have no idea if my daughter will end up liking any of the stuff that I do. One thing that I really hope to do as a parent is I want to let her think freely. And what I mean by that is, I'm not hating on any parents that do this, by the way. I'm a huge Boston Celtics fan, huge Red Sox fan, Boston sports, love it. But I'm never gonna be the parent that is saying like, oh, we're all wearing Red Sox gear, we're Red Sox fans. Like, I don't even want to do that. Like, I want to be like, you can decide if you even like sports,
right? Sort
of deal.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I'm watching the Celtics play the Lakers, you see the Lakers uniforms, and you're like, that looks really cool. I think that's my team. I like that. As much as it would pain me, I would be proud that you just made an independent decision on what you like. I hope to do that. And, again, if my daughter wants to get into music and stuff, awesome.
Yeah.
I know people. I can help you, get better with this. But I really want to be a parent that just allows free choice, free thinking with everything. I don't ever want to tell my kid, you have to like this. Really, all I hope to instill is just to be a good person and good ethics. But the things that you like, the hobbies that you like, I want you to think of that on your own. That's what I hope to achieve. Fingers crossed.
They're definitely going to they're going to mirror you at first. Like Carter, when he was little, was skinny jeans and Vans and plaid shirts, just like Dad.
Yep.
But now that he's like tall, dark, and handsome, blonde hair, blue eyes, because his mom has blonde hair and blue eyes, he's Adidas and tracksuits and Fortnite and fucking TikTok.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which he's too young for all of that, I know. But he was my first one. I fucked him up. All right. The other two will be fine.
For us, it was MySpace. So
yeah, for sure.
That was back in the day.
Yeah. But, I like Kansas City. I've liked Kansas City for years. And, of course, now they're on fire. So I really like them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
But the reason I like Kansas City is because in my industry, like there are big conferences that happen in Kansas City a couple times a year.
Oh yeah,
and it's always warm there, and the culture's dope, and but Carter likes the Patriots, and so that's fine with me. I don't like the Patriots just because like all of my time here, I've been told that I fucking have to, and I don't.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to sports, like I have to watch 2 games every day, 'cause like now I got to watch 3 because he wants to watch New England because they're New England. He wants to watch Tom because he left, and then I got to watch Kansas City.
Yeah.
You know how fucking expensive the NFL packages are to get this
I was
shit
just
done.
about to ask if you have Red Zone and stuff. Like
Red Zone, dude. I got duped into Red Zone. So Kansas City is obviously an out-of-market game almost all the time. Yeah. And so when I called them, I was like, how do I watch out-of-market games? They're like, at Red Zone, it's $5. You can watch all the games. And I was like, I was like, yeah, sign me up right now. And so we didn't go. Usually Carter and I will go somewhere to watch Kansas City.
Yep.
So that day we didn't go, and I had Red Zone on, and I got the first like 3 minutes of the Kansas City game. Red Zone switches between all of the games. It just rotates them. Yeah. Oh. You don't actually get to select anything. It just fucking rotates the games out. So I called. I was like, I was told she was like, yeah, all the games are on that channel. They just rotate. And I was like, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, I didn't know it did that.
Yeah.
Because they advertise it on everything. Like, you get all the games this way.
Yeah,
but
and it's technically true.
Yeah, because they're...
Dude, pissed me off. So I had to So then we left, tried to go somewhere. Everywhere was packed. There's a Pats game at the same time. So we should have just gone to begin with. But yeah, point is though, they're definitely gonna follow your lead for a long time.
Yeah. And I'm very interested to see just how it all turns out, really. Yep. Like, as I mentioned earlier, like, is she going to be interested in music? And, thankfully, I have a wife who, she does a lot of the opposite stuff that I do, and that includes interests. Like, my wife will listen to pop, country, stuff like that. She likes alternative, like, she likes other music too, but I'm thankful that our daughter will sort of get to hear it all. Like, not that I feel like I listen to pretty much every genre. Yeah. But we all have our main genres that we're like, this is what we listen to. Oh, for sure. So, just be eclectic. She gets to hear it all. And then hopefully make her own decision. Yeah. What she likes.
It's kind of the same way in our household. Like, Crystal got into metal because of me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because, again, we were both like, 19 and 20. We were young kids, and I was touring, and it was, it's like that meme on Facebook when she's 18 and you tell her you're in a band. Yeah. She's excited. When she's 25, she's not, Yeah. But she got but she's always listened to like Dierks Bentley and like, whatever's on hot radio, just the pop culture shit. Yep. So our kids definitely, again, they do have an eclectic taste because of that. Yeah. Which sometimes it disappoints me because, I hear him singing the radio edit version of WAP and I'm just like, dude.
Oh, goodness. Oh, man.
It's on the radio, though. You're like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel great.
Oh, yeah, I have that to look forward to. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I honestly hope that by the time... And I don't want her using electronics and stuff. We'll see how it goes, of course. But, man, I really hope that, like, TikTok is gone. Yeah. I hope it's a thing of the past by the time she's old enough to comprehend stuff like that. Right. But who knows what's even going to come after that?
So my friend Dan has 2 daughters, and I had him on here a couple of weeks ago. And, one of the things I said was, like, I never wanted a daughter because I remember what I was like in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm sure you can share that sentiment.
Absolutely.
But one of the biggest benefits of this, like, call-out culture, like, cancel culture right now is, like, you can't get away with it anymore. Yeah. Which is good. Yeah. I don't think people, like, I should have been called out a million times for all the shit that I did as a fucking teenager and, all that stuff. And, it's kind of a security knowing that we're going into a generation where, like, if some dude's a scumbag online, like, he's going to get called out. Or they're just not going to do it, like...
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
My friend Jeremy Butts, who was actually the guitar player for the band that...
Yeah, I remember Jeremy.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, he's, he has a daughter as well. And there was one meme that he shared one day that literally... It's so ridiculous that it was a meme. But whatever, it changed my perspective entirely on raising children. Yeah, because it said protect your daughters, and I've always had that mentality. Like, yeah, you gotta, like if you got a daughter, you gotta protect them. You gotta be the dad in the front yard with a shotgun and blah blah blah. Yeah, it was crossed out, and it said educate your sons, and I was just like, Fuck.
That's powerful.
That's so true.
It is true.
It's so like, and this was like 5 or 6 years ago, probably now, but like, you know, that it sounds foolish. That meme did change the way that like I, you know, let my sons act.
Yeah.
You know, or the way that I talk about, you know, the female. Like I used to joke like, oh, look at the waitress's butt to my oldest son. You know, like whatever. I don't do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a fucking meme that changed how I do that stuff.
And what's the saying? You know, boys will be boys. That's been a saying like
For literally
forever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just a way to explain away things. I feel, and that's not it anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like if you say that, people are gonna look at you like, no, it's not boys will be boys anymore. It's no, like you need to learn how to be a good person.
Yeah,
and so there is comfort in that, knowing that. You know, I even made the joke once I found out. Well, it's probably not a joke, honestly. When I found out I was having a daughter, I was like, I'm gonna have to like go to marches. I'm gonna have to like be like, yes, equal pay. Like, you know, not that I wasn't for this stuff before, but now like
it's more in your bubble.
Yeah. You're like I'm gonna have to like put more effort into trying to get stuff. You know, it's not as simple as just sharing a post on Facebook. Right. Like now you're gonna feel like you need to get active. You need to do this stuff. You need to show your daughter like, I want women's rights because I want you to have rights.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it's definitely one thing I've made sure that, you know, I included in my kids' lives are things like marches and protests and parades and rallies. Like Pride parades have been a part of their life since every single one of them has been going since the year they were born. Yeah. You know, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not like, hey, look at that dude in the leather garter, and I'm also not mad about that because I know it's their day. Like, do you know? But we do go, and they're like, why are we here? And it's like, well, because my brother, my uncle, which is, you know, their uncle, their great uncle, you know, one of the women that raised me, like all these people in your life, they didn't get to do this 10 years ago because they get beaten or prosecuted or you know, Matthew Shepard was fucking murdered for being gay, you know, and you know, that's why we do this stuff, you know, and
absolutely.
And it's not just Pride, but that's like the biggest example of you know, what we're involved with, or you know, what we do march for, protest for, and you know, it's a small piece of the pie when it comes to equal rights, but you know, there's a lot of shit you try to shelter your kids from, but when it comes to activism or understanding what's important, like, did my 9-year-old son need to know that George Floyd died, or how or why? No. Do I feel bad about educating him on that? Absolutely not.
Yeah, and you shouldn't.
Yeah,
honestly.
Like my kid's best friends are black. You know, they're black girls that live right next to us. Yep. You know, there's 4 of them, and there's 3 of my kids, and my niece lives downstairs, and they play all day long. And it's like, it's never been a question of, they've never asked me like what color they are, or why their English is a little bit different or anything like that, because
which is awesome.
They've not been raised to notice differences like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
I'm definitely proud of myself for that. I'll toot my horn.
You should be. You really should be. Yeah. Like, those are the values that I hope to instill, and I really hope to, just the basic value of, not everyone's going to think the way you do. Not everyone's going to like the things that you do, and that's okay. Like, you know, I feel like, well, today's turmoil, so that can somewhat, you know, people have a tough time with that, but I really hope to instill that. Like seriously, just accept people for who they are. And you know what? If people just like things that you really, really dislike and you don't think you're going to get along, you know, you don't need to argue with people. You don't need to waste your time on that. Like, you don't need to be the type of person that has to do any type of hate speech, you know, hate crimes, you know, whatever. You don't have to do that because you disagree with someone. Like, it's just, you know, people are who they are, and you just got to, I really hope to instill that in my daughter. And yeah, I just don't want her to grow up, you know, just constantly judging people and having to feel like she needs to tell them that she doesn't like what they're doing, doesn't like their choices and stuff like that. And so, you know, and I'm also, I hope to nip in the bud, you know, don't even go behind to your friends and like just constantly rag on people.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's a real problem today. And I will admit, I've had issues with it in the past. I still have some issues with it, but you know, just let people be who they are and just move on. Just focus on what you like. There's no point in doing otherwise.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, you know, most of it's just going to come from conditioning. And like, if you've been conditioned to be a good person and you've done pretty well, your product is only going to be better than you.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're raised with 5% hate, but you delete that mentality, then like what 5% are you going to pass on? You know, that's the way I think about it, at least.
True.
But again, who fucking knows, man?
That's right.
It's all going to be super random.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason. There's no method to parenting.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be what it is.
That's right. As I said, my wife's trying to tell me, do not expect things to go a certain way because we have no idea what is going to happen. We really have no idea. I also try to think about it, and this is kind of random, but it's still on a topic that we're talking about. I work in the mental health and human services field, and I've seen personally the grief that parents can go through when they have a child with autism or a different disability. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people realize just how real that grief is, because with all of us, and I'm guilty of it right now, you have this image of your child in your head.
Yeah.
You just, like, this is what my child's going to be, this is what we're going to do. And then if you have a child that comes out and comes into the world, has a disability that you were not expecting, it's literally like you just lost your child. Like, your child in your head, figuratively, has died. And so there's a whole grieving process with that. So I'm also trying to tell myself, look, that is also a possibility. So, you're trying to think of all the ethics and morals and stuff you could teach right now. Your child could come into this world, could have, severe intellectual disabilities, autism, what have you. And everything that you thought you were going to teach them is out the door.
Yep.
So trying to prep for that, too. I'm trying to really keep that in my mind. Like, this could happen. Because I've seen what the grieving process is like. And, try to minimize that as much as you can. With just the knowledge of, this is real.
That's crazy. I definitely never had that thought, even a little bit.
I didn't either till I did this work.
Yeah, 100%.
That I do. And you just, like, I think that's honestly, I work with a lot of parents that, deny a lot of stuff. And, or parents that just feel, you guys are coming in to help my child and to cure their autism because they want that child that they had in their mind. And so, yeah, I'm just really trying to prepare for all different angles. I have ADHD. My mind races anyways, so I'm really trying to think of literally everything that I can just to try and prepare myself as much as possible, even though I know when it actually comes, who the hell knows how it's going to go?
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's definitely... So, my first kid, the only issue with my oldest kid is that I was too young to have a kid. The biggest struggles were mine.
Yeah.
7 years later, we found out that he does have ADD, and, he's in special classes, like all of them, which is, for me, blindsiding because, by second grade, I was in fourth grade. I was in advanced classes all through school until like high school when I was like, this is fucking stupid, which was the worst thing I could have done to myself. But, I was, I excelled in a lot of ways.
I have a point to go off of that when you're done with your story, by the way.
Yeah.
Just something I thought of.
Sure. I mean, he's still like the American dream, like his build, but he has a lot of struggles that we didn't expect. There wasn't really ever like a grieving process with that. It's just, it sucks and we got to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
Rowan, our middle child, was born with 2 holes in his heart. He has an ASD and a VSD.
Oh, wow.
They told us the entire pregnancy, like, don't plan on bringing a baby home.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
That was fucking stressful.
Yeah.
Then the day he was born, they had like they had like $1 million in payroll in the room. You know what I mean? Like 4 fucking heart surgeons, like just all the people.
Yeah.
And they're like, the second he comes out, he's having surgery. If there's any chance of surviving, like that's what we had to do.
Wow.
And, again, I was only 23, 24 at the time, and we had a miscarriage before that. So we were like super shaken up about it. He's born, and they're like, they take him and they stop. And one of his arms isn't working. And they're like, okay, well, he's breathing. His heart's beating. He's hungry. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, feed him. And we're like, okay. So we feed him. They're like, we'll come back in like 6 hours. We'll probably do the surgery then. Oh. Can't do a surgery on a hungry baby. I was like, okay, whatever you say.
Wow.
And then 6 hours later, they're like, we'll do it in the morning. In the morning, they're like, we'll do it in a week. In a week, they're like, we'll do it in 6 months. 6 months, they said, we'll do it in a year. 2 years, they were like, he's probably just going to have these holes till he's like 70.
Wow.
My girlfriend starts crying. because she doesn't understand that that's a good thing. That means he's going to live till he's 70.
Yeah.
You know, but for the first like years of his life, if you go on my Instagram, the hashtag is Robo Baby. His name's Rowan. So we call him Robo or Ro or whatever. And then Robo Baby because he always had heart monitors attached to him. So it's like a robot baby for like ever. You know, and his arm's still fucked up. But his arm's fine. But like when he runs, he doesn't run like this. He runs like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or like, but you know, he's amazing. And then like, you know, our third child there was no issues with. So like, it's weird to like now in my mind, I had the perspective of imagine being a parent who like, there was something that's lifelong that came out of. Yeah. As far as like, you know, differences. But what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. This is just totally random. So you were talking about how you excelled in school, and it just totally popped up a memory in my head of we were in biology class together when you went to Morse. Yeah. And I remember you did so well in that class. I sucked at that class. I remember that most of us didn't even care. I think a lot of us guys, like, we were just kind of like, meh, like we don't care. We don't want to be here. But I remember you really excelled in that class, and you were always really good at sciences because there was also, you know, we were in like what 10th grade, something like that. So. And I remember you mentioned we were playing basketball all the time together, and so I remember my calves were really hurting, and I was like, man, my calves hurt, and you were like, oh, you need protein. And at that time, I wasn't paying attention in school. I had no idea about any of this stuff, and so I was just like, what? And I remember you going into this explanation of like how my muscle fibers are probably like coming apart and I need protein to fill those sections and stuff. And I was just like, dude, like how do you know this? Yeah. But you were right. Like, and it's just so funny to think back on that. Like, I just remember you aced a test because you had skipped the classes before that. You know, as you said, you know, you didn't really care too much, you know, so sometimes you were in the class, sometimes you were not. But you came into a test that I was there every day for before, and you were not. I failed the test. You fucking aced it. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, like you almost got 100. You got like one question wrong, and I think you read through it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's why I got that wrong." I'm like, "Ah, I got like a 30." But it's so funny that memory just popped up. Yeah, like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I remember you being good at school.
Yeah, I mean, applied sciences just like makes sense to me, you know. That's good, but it's not something I'm willing to sit there and learn. I'm not willing to sit there and listen to something that I already know. Like, I just feel like it's a waste of my time. Yeah, you know. And now I think
you said that back in the day. I think you were honestly like, I feel like I know this. Yeah. Like, I don't need to sit here and listen to. His name was Mr. Schaub, my old neighbor. If you remember him, you were like, I don't need to listen to Mr. Schaub talk about this stuff. So, and you were right because you aced his tests. So,
yeah, I remember because I wanted to leave that school, and I was on probation, and my probation officer at the time like wanted to take me out of school because I just kept getting in trouble. Kept getting in trouble. You know, I'd be out past curfew. I'd be fucking drinking in the woods with.
Oh, the woods parties.
Yeah, dude, like all that shit. Yeah. And it was just like every time I went anywhere, like I got fucking caught. I'd skip a party and nothing would happen. I'd go, you know, and I'd get fucked, and I'd be out with like Jake Ross and like Michael Labonte and just all these fucking random places. Like we you know, we'd be in Phippsburg for whatever reason at a bonfire. Oh yeah. And the cops would show up, and it was only when I was fucking there. And you know, they were like, they wanted to put me into transitional living, which is where I wound up eventually. Shortly after, that's where I went. But the school was like, they were vouching for me. They were like, please let him stay. Like, he's a good student when he applies himself. Blah blah blah. And they were like asking me like, what do you want to do? Like, what will keep you in school? Then I was like, I only want to go to music class. Yeah. And so for like the last like month that I was still there, only had music classes and like one homeroom class. Nice. And got in trouble again, and that's when they were like, you're out of here, buddy.
You know what's actually funny? Now that you're talking about this, I think I remember the first party I ever went to with you, which was just in some place. I think it was behind the store One Stop in Bath. We were just at this place with a bunch of friends, and I remember you saying, we need to leave. And I was like, why? And I'm pretty sure you were like, my probation officer can't catch me. Like, I can't be caught here. Like, I think more people were coming in, and you were just kind of like, okay, this is probably going to get busted. Yeah. We need to go, like, now. And then we just went and probably just passed out on my bunk beds. Yeah. Whatever we used to do back in the day.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely, you know, I had some struggles. I've rehabilitated myself.
That's good.
I'm doing all right.
That's good.
You know?
That's good. You have the sick setup in here, so... Yeah, you're doing damn good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah, should be. This is awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully, you something does become of it. People ask like, what's your goal? What's your goal with this whole thing? And it's like, Joe Rogan just signed $100 million fucking Spotify contract. Is that what I'm going for? No. Do I have like the jaded view I had when I was a kid, like in my first band where I was like, this is going to be my career?
Yeah.
Like, no. But, if I can get this to like, enough subscribers and enough views to where I can make 50, 60 grand a year off of it and then like work a part-time job.
Yeah.
Done.
That'd be awesome.
I work 75 hours a week and I've been doing it the entire time I've been in this industry. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
If there's some art that I can do consistently well enough where it like pays me consistently enough to just focus on an art, I'm there.
Yeah. But hey, if someone's listening and they like want to give $100 million offer.
Yeah, I'm not rejecting
them. They should do that.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
It's funny. So like we were talking earlier about how many the podcasts that we do watch. So
yep.
Most of the podcasts that I watch are hosted by stand-up comics, and I'm really into stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. And before this whole thing happened, I was starting to write like a 15-minute set because I wanted to do some open mics and like see what happened. And it's like every podcast I watch, they all sponsor shit that like I actually use. Mm-hmm. And Gerard and I were talking, and I was like, something about a bidet came up, or like wiping your ass or something came up, and I was like, nah, man, like I have a tushy, like blah blah blah. And then he was like, yeah, I use a. And then we talked about a tushy for like 10 minutes, and he was like, yeah, I have the Manscaped, and like that's another one that's always sponsored on like funny podcasts.
Yeah.
We talked about that for like 10 minutes. I was like, I fucking wish the right person would hear this because, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What are those things called? The wands that you can put the toilet paper in to go down to your ass so that you don't have to, no longer the hassle of bending over to wipe your own ass. You can now use this wand where you put stuff in. God, I don't remember the name of it right now, but that would be a sick ad.
I didn't know that was a real thing, but I used to work with this guy. I'm not going to say his name, who had a friend who was upset with like his girl that like, like I like blonde hair and big asses.
Yep.
Like his thing was real big women.
Yep.
He was a feeder. You know what I mean? Like he liked women that were so big that they wanted a guy around just to feed them.
Yep.
And one girl he was with was so big that she couldn't wipe her own ass. And he was telling me this story about this stick that she had.
A personalized wand.
No, bro. Off a tree.
Oh, like a real stick.
Yeah, that she would use. She'd put face cloths on it to be able to reach parts of her body to clean them.
Oh my god!
So apparently there's a fucking market for a personalized cleaning stick thingy.
Yeah, it makes sense as to why that would sell now and get like ads on the television. Like I mean, nothing should surprise me. People are weird and random, and if there's a market of people out there sticking sticks up their asses because they can't reach it, like, make a wand. Make a wand. Like, God.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm glad that person exists.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know
that
is someone's probably doing that right as we talk.
Dude,
right
there's
now.
a seat for every ass. You know what I mean?
True that. True that. You're not wrong.
Oh my God. Oh fuck. We went way off from what I was at, which was fine. But we were talking about school.
Yep.
How you had left socials, left music.
Yep.
We're focusing on school. And you say UMF, is that University of Maine Farmington?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And you were going to be a teacher, but then you dropped that as your...
Dropped that as my major. Yeah. Before I even got there.
Okay.
Like, I always have to throw that in because, like, I didn't even enter a class for teaching. Before I even got there, I was just like, nope, I'm going to suck. Not going to be a good teacher. Teachers make crap money. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And so that started a, like, 3-year, well, really 2.5-year cycle of me trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. Mm-hmm. And even after I left college, had all the student debt, and I was just like, I still have no idea what I'm going to do. I have absolutely no idea. I just was always told you need to go to college because that's how you'll get a good paying job.
Yeah.
You know, that's what was sold to me as a senior in high school. So I was like, okay, I mean, I got to do it. But yeah, it was just, again, going back to all that self-doubt stuff. Like every single thing I thought I could do, I was just like, no, you can't. You're not good enough.
Well, when you got there, I mean, did that kind of change? I mean, obviously you changed up your focus a little bit, but
I mean, I changed my major 7 times.
Oh, wow.
So it took a while.
Yeah.
Like I was interested in so many things, but then I would, like at one point I was a music major at UMF, And then people were like, what are you doing? Like, why would you get a music degree from UMF? You should have just gone to Berkeley.
Yeah.
Like, what are you and what are you even going to do with that degree? And, Guitar Center is all people thought about. So they're like, you're just going to be the drum tech guy at Guitar Center making, like, minimum wage? Like, that's what people would expect from me. And I don't even know what people made Guitar Center, but I was
minimum
like...
wage.
I was like, yeah, like, that's probably just going to be me, so I can't do that. So a lot of derailing until... I was actually taking an intro to psych class just because I was planning to transfer to Husson because I wanted to be a phys ed teacher. I went back to teaching, and I thought, phys ed, I love sports. Why not?
Yeah.
Phys ed teacher. I can get big and still teach phys ed. They all do. So... yeah, that didn't happen because I took intro to psych and it just blew my mind. So, and it seemed like it wouldn't be, this is sad to say, it wouldn't be too hard of a major, whereas I got further along in the classes, I would feel like I made a terrible mistake because I can't comprehend anything. So, yeah, that's really why I ended up going down that road because it just fascinated me. And I had a professor say to me once, you don't have to know what you want to do, you just have to know what you want to study. And I was like, shit.
I like that.
I was like, this is good. That's very philosophical of you. And at that time, I fell in love with psychology, so I was like, I'm going to take that advice. And I just studied it. Because I remember when I was leaving college, my advisor was like, so what master's program are you going to go into? I was like, I'm not. Like, I graduate in a month, and I'm out. She's like, well, everyone that studies psychology goes to get a master's, like a specialized master's.
Yeah.
She's like, so if you're not going to do that, I'm going to be totally honest, you're probably just going to be entry level. Like, you're probably just going to be entry level with everything that you do. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's good to know, just as I'm about to graduate and I haven't applied to any master's programs. But I'm thankful that I feel like I proved her wrong at this point. So,
yeah.
And I still got to be a teacher at one point. So, yeah, cheers to that.
I feel like any HR person I've met in any industry I've been in has had like a pretty fucking cushy job.
Especially right now where I'm working from home 4 out of the 5 days.
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah.
It's a good setup. I won't lie. And what's funny is people meet me, and underneath the hoodie that I'm wearing, like I'm totally decked out in tattoos and everything. Like I am not what you think of for HR.
Right.
And the other 3 people I work with, all excellent professionals. They're all women who are 50 or older. Mm-hmm. And so, then there's me. So people are like, you're just like an outlier. You do not seem like the kind of person that would be in HR.
Well, you're also the future, man. A lot of people don't realize, like...
That's right.
Boomers are going to die soon. Their generation's not going to last forever.
It's true.
And then it's Gen X and millennials.
Yeah.
The whole nomenclature about, tattooed persons being unprofessional or not being able to be hired. One of the wealthiest dudes I know owns a fucking tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Independently wealthy, like...
Yeah.
Owns a fucking tattoo shop. And I know, I've had a white-collar job for 10 years. I've met plenty of upper-class persons, I know a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And one of the most well-off ones I know owns a tattoo shop.
Yeah, that was a huge stigma in college when I was, going on and on up in my psych classes. I was starting to get more tattoos. There was one summer I just went crazy. Like, I totally filled out my left arm in just one summer. Just got it done. Because I was like, you know what, my rent's $100 a month with my buddy. This is the only time I'm going to have the money to do this. Just did it. And people were like talking to me like, you need to think about your future.
Yeah.
You need to think about how much that's going to affect you. And I was like, what, I can't wear a long sleeve shirt?
Right.
Like, is that not possible? And I'm very thankful that I work for an agency that really doesn't judge me on that stuff. So that's pretty tit too. Yeah. I like that.
One of the most competent mental health professionals I've ever met in my entire life had stretched ears, and I'm pretty sure he was tatted from like his throat to his toes.
Yeah.
Like I know his throat and arms are done. I know his calves are done because he'd wear like Dickie cargo shorts and you know what I mean, and like plaid fucking t-shirts and shit.
Yeah.
And he's actually the one that introduced me to Norma Jean.
Right on.
Yeah, like, but again, it's just wildly intelligent.
Yeah.
Very, very competent in his field. As far as like, I've talked to a lot of people in that profession, court mandated or not. And he was the one that, granted, the second I saw him, I fell in love with him just because like he aligned with me on an aesthetic level.
Yeah.
But after talking to him for as long as I did, I was just like, I can't believe that somebody could see you on the street and think that you were anything less than a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
Or like the dude that like 6 or 7 years ago put a rocket somewhere. Was that the one that went to Mars? Like the lead, like the lead developer.
He was decked out in tattoos. Like he worked for NASA. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like for people like me who want to make it have a good professional career and look the way that I do.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's doing it. He's a pioneer.
Dude, I don't personally sell. I lead a sales team, and we sell $100,000 cars, and I'll walk around like a polo most days,
Yeah.
And I'm just as decked out as the next dude is, and I used, like, when I first got in the industry, when I was selling cars, like, I wore, like, black on black suits, the three-piece, I'd have the vest, the fucking tight fade, tight beard, the whole thing, because I thought that you had to. And then, like, customers, they'd see my wrists, or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, and, like, it was always an extremely positive conversation whenever they noticed that I had tattoos, whether they had one or none or all of them. It's like that mindset's gone. Like, it just and if that mindset exists somewhere that you're thinking about going, don't fucking go there.
Yeah.
Because that place is too derelict to be able to advance in this world.
Yeah.
You don't want to get held back with that.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like, with how things are changing, like you said, it's really like helped me build a lot of relationships. Like when I was a preschool teacher and I was able to wear short sleeve shirts and show my tattoos, there were so many times where parents would bring their kids in and we would have conversations about tattoos. It was a conversation starter. It really helped us get comfortable, and I always knew if I ever felt like kind of awkward, like I don't know what to talk about, I could just be like, so when you get your next piece? Like, you always had something to talk about, and, you can always talk about meanings behind tattoos, whether they have meaning or not. Like, it seriously has helped me build a lot of relationships, too.
Yeah.
So, of course, there have been people that have looked at me like, why are you this way? But
right.
I think for the most part, honestly, it's helped me build a lot of relationships. And even being in HR now, one of the first orientations I did at my agency, someone saw, like you said, they saw my wrist, a tattoo, and, we started talking about it, and then suddenly, people are, like, taking off their sweater vests and being like, yeah, I got this, and I got that. Like, you really start to build that bond. And, the stigma is fading, I feel. It's still there.
Yeah.
But, it's just, I feel like it's honestly gotten so much better, and you can build connections with people over these things.
For sure.
You seriously, I mean, I've been to shows where I didn't even get the person's name, but I saw they had cool ink, or they saw I had cool ink, and we just said, hey, sweet tat, and we just talked about tats for a minute. Split up, and I'm probably never going to see them again.
Right.
But you know what? You had that moment where you connected.
For me, there's also an unfortunate side to it, though, as far as connecting over tattoos, because I have these fucking bullshit stars, nautical stars.
Yep.
And there's so many people that have nautical stars that, like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. Like, let me roll up my sleeve a little bit higher, and you'll probably stop talking to me. You know what I mean? Like, and I've got like 5 or 6 of them, like too many.
Was it one of your first tattoos?
Yeah, my first tattoo has fucking 3 of them in it.
Ah,
yeah,
there we go.
And then I don't even know. Like, this one was a filler. Obviously, this shit's not done.
Yep.
And I've got a couple more, around, but.
That's always how the conversation goes too, even with me. Whenever I'm showing people, when people are showing me, they're like, yeah, I mean, it's not done. Like, I got a lot more. I have a lot more that is coming. Yeah. And, as we get older, we start to just realize it might never get finished.
Dude,
but,
so, Almost Famous?
Yep.
Yeah, so Aaron is the owner over there. A good friend of mine. He's going to do an episode, and his wife's going to do her own episode because she's also super interesting. She's been on 2 reality TV shows and shit. Yeah, but
That's awesome. I learned about them from Curran.
Oh, really?
When Curran was piercing there?
Yeah.
Forever ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we were having beers the other night, and the episode that I do with Aaron, and I'm not going to do it for a while because it's going to be fucking sick, and I want to have a following when I do it. But
I don't blame you.
We're going to set up my shit in his shop, and he's going to black out my right arm during the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which should be cool. I mean, it'll be, like, I'll be getting tattooed for, like, 8 hours. Like, it's not going to be an 8-hour-long episode, Like,
it should be.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we'll see. But, we were talking about, like, what else are you going to do? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I'm not getting another tattoo until I can draw a line around my throat and etch everything out. Like, I'm going to, if I can come in and get the rest of my body outlined, and that's it, and that's done, I'll start getting more tattoos, but I'm sick of, like, piecemealing shit or doing, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, Vinny has started so many fucking tattoos on me that aren't done, and, not that it's necessarily his fault or my fault or whatever, but, like, and Aaron was saying, Because, obviously Aaron has a ton of tattoos, again, from his throat to his toes.
Yep.
And he's like, I get pieces now, and I'm like a calm old man, and it hurts more. He's like, once you get past that angsty fucking pissed off period in your life, tattoos start to hurt a lot more.
Yeah.
And the last tattoo I got like 2 years ago, I remember thinking like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
It's just like doesn't feel good anymore, and like.
Yeah, I think that's honestly part of the reason, along with money.
Yeah, money.
Why I haven't done it recently. The last one I got was on my knee. I got a Black Panther started on my knee at Death or Glory here in Westbrook from Brad.
Yep.
And
Brad's done a bunch of my work.
it was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm pretty sure I've booked with him to have it finished like 3 times, and I've canceled every time.
Really?
Because it hurts so bad that every time it gets close to it, I'm just like, I can't do this. And I feel so bad, which is why I haven't called him in years now, because I'm just like, you're going to wimp out, dude. Just don't even waste this time.
Crystal got her whole knee blasted out like 2 years ago, and it's like that big of a piece.
Wow.
It's like the inside mid-thigh to like the outside bottom of her shin.
Wow.
It's diagonal.
Yep.
Like this. And yeah, I remember and she didn't even flinch. But again, she's had fucking 3 kids and a C-section, and
yeah.
Dude, by the way, going back to dude, if you guys end up having to have a C-section, don't fucking watch.
I was not planning on it. I will let you know. I don't know if I will end up. I don't want to watch any of it. To be honest,
you're going to. Though, if there's women in the room, they're going to make you. If you're allowed in the room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys have a midwife, or is she not on that route?
No.
That's fine because they hate men. Probably not all of them, but the ones we had did. But we had a midwife with Carter because that's what Crystal wanted to do.
Yep.
With Rowan, we couldn't because of all the complications. And then with Lennox, we had a C-section because they were like, yeah, this baby's going to be too big to pass naturally. Wound up being the smallest of the 3 babies.
Of course.
After they
Isn't that how life works?
cut Crystal in half.
God.
Dude, not to get too graphic.
Cringe.
I used to think, because C-section scars are tiny, dude. They're like 2 inches wide, And I used to think that, and I don't know why I thought this way, because anatomy is kind of a thing for me.
Yeah.
But I used to think they just went, and it was over.
Yep.
Dude, it's fucking not. They literally, so the reason the incision's so small is because people are so elastic, right? They fucking did the small incision and then put these clamps in that just opened it. And then, have you ever seen those shoe racks that hang on doors? They're made of plastic. Your grandmother probably had one. They had one of those. And as they were just pulling stuff out of her, they were literally tossing it. How you feeling right now? Tossing pieces of her.
I'm fidgeting around because I'm...
Yeah.
God.
Dude, and then they reached into her and then below her chest, they were pushing and pulling. And I'm so they put a blue... The tarp is half blue and half clear, opaque. The blue part's on her side. And she can't feel any of it, but she's kind of moving as they rip her around. And I'm turning white. And I'm feeling all kinds of fucked up, and I'm just watching, and I'm just, but you got to keep it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's like, what are they doing? And I was like, oh.
You look great.
Everything's fine, yeah. And, yeah, dude, it's fucking brutal. They're elbow deep in there when they reach.
God.
And then they don't pull out a baby, they pull out a sack. And then
even better.
Then they cut that thing open and throw that into the shoe bin. And then the whole thing takes 6 minutes. No, it's so fast. And they bring they clean the baby, they bring it over, and they bring Dad over. They have to cut the umbilical cord, but they leave a long section of it so that you can cut it again.
Yep.
Do that, by the way.
I want to.
Don't miss out on that if you're able to be in the room. And then I picked her up and I was like, "Here's your baby." And it literally felt after going through 2 natural births, it literally felt like we just went to Walmart and grabbed a gallon of milk because it was so fast and it was scheduled and you know what I mean? It was so brutal though.
Good analogy.
Dude, it was so brutal. So it shouldn't surprise me that she can sit through, any tattoo. Fuck.
Yeah, no, after hearing that.
Oh my God, I have a video.
Thank God.
I'll show you later.
Thank God you do.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
I do. I'll show you later.
Awesome. I can't wait.
But it's through the opaque thing, so you can't see all of it. But
oh man,
yeah.
I've thought about this. I really don't want to watch any of it. I probably will. I know that
you will.
But I've always had the thought in my mind I don't want to have that feeling I'll never look at my wife the same because of what I've witnessed them do to make this happen, or what her body's done. I don't know.
That trauma thing that erases memories.
Yeah,
it goes into play. You'll never even. I can't remember it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool if that happened.
Like literally an hour later, I'd have forgot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I assume after the child's there, you're totally gonna be like, all right, now I need to be in the mode of like, make sure this thing doesn't die.
Yeah.
Like you're not responsible.
Oh no, you don't. For the first day, the doctors do most of it.
Oh, that's true.
It's really cool. They let you take a nap and shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mind will probably just be racing, like of everything that's gonna happen when we get home. Like we already talked about the whole like.
Do you want a
sleep
Red Bull?
Deprivation. You have Red Bull?
Do you want a Red Bull?
Yeah. Let's do that. Shot the Red Bull.
Right here.
It'd be funny if you're like, no, sorry.
The dad fridge has all kinds of shit.
Totally lied to you.
Well, I used to be able to slide stuff across the table. I can't do it anymore. No, hold on.
Can we make it happen?
Oh, yeah. We can do this.
Can we do it? We did it. Nice.
So you're in school.
Sweet. Yeah. So I'm at UMF doubting myself. Yeah. And, yeah. So that was such a weird time in my life. Seriously, I live with the perspective now of like, why do we make kids that are 18 have to go, well, not all of them have to go through this, but we tell them like, by the age of 18, you need to know what you want to do. You need to have everything planned out.
Yeah.
And it needs to not change.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have everything planned out. So I felt like a failure at like the age of 20. Because I'm like, I don't know. No idea what I'm going to do. Like, and so just that stress, just constantly wondering, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What is this major even going to be good for me? Like, that's why I ended up changing like 7 times, and just constantly having the stress of like, I'm just not going to make it, aren't I? Because I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and I'm going to be a failure. And, I just, that constant self-doubt.
Yeah.
Was just, it sucked. It really sucked. It ruined a good chunk of my college experience.
Did you live on campus?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All 4 years.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I was not trained on any financial matters growing up. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
Right now. And
I feel you on that.
My grandmother who raised me just said, you know what? Whatever they give you for FAFSA, take it all. And so I did. And have a good chunk of student loan debt now because of it. But I also have a good paying and a good job because of what happened. So it worked out in the end. But yeah, I was just like, I've never had my own place, like an apartment or anything. So I was like, I don't want that stress. I barely even have anything that I could put in an apartment. So I just stayed on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the way you should do it, man. If you're going to go to college, you should stay on campus for sure. Especially if you don't have anything going on, because that is a YOLO moment,
Yeah, the food sucked.
Yeah, of course.
You're told that, and it's true. The food sucks, but seriously, I thought it was nice. And later part of the years, you have a room to yourself. So when you're like trying to find all these connections with women, you have a place to bring them back. Yeah. And that was the last 2 years of college. That was really what I did. I was trying to find connections with people, and I was like, if I can't figure out the job part, I'm gonna figure out my relationship life. No, I figured out none of it.
When did you meet your wife?
So she actually interviewed me. She was working with the agency that I currently work with, which is called Woodford's. And she was in my interview with 2 other teachers. And so she might kill me for saying this. She has a little bit of RBF, and she's admitted it. But in that interview, the other 2 people were kind of like chatty, laughy, and she was just stone face, just like, because of her stone face and just like kind of seriousness, I left that interview like, I'm not getting this job.
Oh, I thought you were going to say challenge accepted.
No. I should have. No, I just left. I was like, that woman hated me, and she probably thinks I suck. So I'm not getting this. And then it turns out later on, she told me that actually she thought I was really cute, and she was one of the ones that vouched for me. So yeah, she ended up being my lead teacher that trained me to be a teacher.
Dude, nothing like slamming the boss lady.
Yeah, that's just how we met. And then, no, she was in a relationship at the time when I first met her, and I had just gotten out of one, but I was sleeping on my ex's futon at the time. Yeah, totally had my life together. And yeah, we just sort of started to build a connection, I think through teaching, and eventually one time after she broke up with her man, she just told me how she really felt. And I was like, cool, because I kind of felt it too, but you were with someone, so I was like, huh? And here we are. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. How long you guys been together?
We started dating in 2015, so it's been 5 years.
How long have you been married?
We have been married for 2 years now.
Actually, you know what? That brings me to
pick time.
Well, this one specifically.
Yeah.
So, wait, no, not this one. Go back. This one. November 5th of this year.
Yeah. So I get Facebook back and it's like, you got married, right? I'm like, yeah, I got married. And that's the day I got Facebook back. So Facebook was just like, yeah, you got married on this date. And so, yeah, I did not get married on November 5th of this year. We got married in July of 2018. So that is totally wrong. But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of reactions to it.
Yeah.
And even my grandmother commented on it like, what the fuck? Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, because people were confused that knew us. They're like, why are you saying you got married at this time? And I just haven't changed it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make people think that because I just think it's funnier.
Was this from the wedding?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually eloped.
Nice.
We were both super stressed about having a huge wedding.
The next day, November 6th.
Yep, we got married again the next day. Yeah, no, we just had a couple friends and a photographer. Mm-hmm. That's it. Super small. We just did it on the rocks out in Georgetown at a spot called Ledgemere. And
I know where that is.
Yeah. So we just did it out there super quick. Just got it over with. Went out to eat with everyone after, and then we went out to where the hell did we go? I think we went to Mohegan Sun.
Nice
for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, I don't want the stress of having to go into debt for a huge wedding or something like that, and everyone would just be upset because I've been to multiple weddings, and the whole time you're just thinking of where's the food. So. Yeah. I was like, I don't want that.
Well, for me, it's where's the drinks, but I feel you.
Or that, yeah. So we just did something real quick and took some pictures, and just got it over with how we wanted to, and that upset some family, but it is what it is.
It's about
we liked what we did.
Good.
We liked what we did.
Do you remember who the photographer was?
Mm-mm.
No.
My wife Sarah could tell you right now
who
it was, and she was wonderful. I didn't book her or anything.
Sure.
I didn't even think we were going to have a photographer, honestly. I thought we were just going to do it.
Take some selfies?
Yeah, and then it was probably like a couple or a few weeks before the actual wedding. She was like, okay, so I booked this person because I want us to have pictures for our house.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, if it makes you happy, we can do that. And we did. But sadly, I don't know their name.
Dude, weddings are fucking rough for me. I don't know why. But in the last 5 years, I've watched some of my closest, most intimate friends get married.
Yep.
And every single one of them, every single wedding, I was that guy. Fucking drunk, puking, crying, blacked out. My friend Kyle, who I've known since I was 7. Actually, Kyle and I saw Brutal Intentions for the first time before I met you at Ushuaia's in Bangor.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that's how long I've known. I've known him since way before that.
Oh,
but
man. Mr. Ushuaia's.
Yeah. He got married. I think he was the first one of my friends to get married like 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got so drunk. Thank God Crystal came with me because she wasn't going to, but she did, and it was 2.5, 3 hours north of here, and I hadn't seen his family in a while, and I grew up with his family and him and his sister and his brother and his mom and his dad. I call his mom and dad. We're super close.
Yep.
And I'll drink, dude. I can drink 30 beers, right, casually in a day, or in 6 hours, whatever. Beer is like water to me, and I love drinking beer. And when it comes to liquor, I try to stick to vodka Red Bull, because it's it's enough of a bite, but it keeps you pretty medium. And so when I start, if I take a shot of whiskey, just leave me, just go somewhere else. Because now I'm cool, I'm going to drink a fifth of whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink a liter of whiskey, and it just progresses and progresses.
Yeah.
And on the drive home, and I was wearing my most expensive suit at this wedding, and I gave away the blazer to somebody else that was there, and my fucking belt and my shoes. I don't know why. Every time somebody
you were a giving man.
Every time somebody complimented me, I was like, "Have it, please." Someone's like, "Nice wallet." I'm glad no one said something like that. You know what I mean?
That's awesome money you got. Yeah. Here, take it all.
I got in the car. I was like, I'm going to drive myself home because I'm a fucking idiot. And I don't think I probably would have if she wasn't there, but I was like, she's with me, it'll be fine. And I got to the end of the driveway, and I was like, I can't see. Like, that's how drunk I was. I was like, cross-eyed.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I'll drive. I'm like, cool. 5 minutes down the road, I just start puking. And I didn't, like, roll the window down. I didn't ask her to pull over. I just, like, was so drunk. I was like,
just, here's good.
Yeah. And then, after that, it was my friend Tori. And then after that, it was my guitar player, Andy, who my kids call Uncle Andy. You know what I mean?
Andy. Did he used to do sound at the window? Yeah. All right. I know
Andy Beal. Yeah. That's one of my best friends in the whole world. And then it was Derek, our drummer, got married most recently. And Andy and his wife drove with Crystal and I. And again, I didn't even get in the driver's seat. They were just like, no.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't roll the window down, didn't ask to pull over. I just started fucking puking, puked on the people in the back seat, and it's like, because every wedding we go to, everyone's like, well, when are you and Crystal going to get married? Because we've been, like, as far as, like, scene relationships, for our, like, time group, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's Jared.
Your cohort.
Yeah, it's Jared and Amy. Jared from Too Late and Amy.
Yep.
And then it's me and Crystal, as far as, like, people that have been together the longest. But we're not married, but fucking everybody else is. So everyone's like, when are you guys going to get married? And, like, that thought just, like, I don't know why. We basically are. In most states, legally, we would be.
Yeah.
And then she starts saying, I want to get married. And I'm just like, blah, 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 all the liquor. All the liquor I've all spent money on at weddings, I could have, like, funded a decent wedding for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, we just haven't yet.
we almost, I was going to bring this up because you mentioned that, we almost just went to the town hall and just signed the paperwork and just called it good. Like, that's how we were going to elope.
Yeah.
Just like, we don't want to spend the money. We don't want to have to deal with the people. We just want to be able to say we're married.
Yeah.
And, for a while, I actually was telling her, we don't have to legally get married, because we were thinking of things like, as far as, like, money and whatnot, and, like, what you can get in taxes and whatnot. We were thinking that way. But then she was like, let's just do it how we want to do it.
Yeah.
So we did.
I respect that, dude.
And I'm glad we did. I am glad that we didn't just go sign the paperwork. But for people that do that because they don't want to deal with everything else, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my brothers did that. It pissed my dad off really bad.
Isn't family fun? Like,
yeah,
you can never please them.
Yeah.
Even though it's what you want to do and parents want their kids to be happy, it never just, I don't know. I feel like you can't just accept it. Like,
right.
It's like, were you considering my feelings? Like, no, I was considering my own.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Good. Yeah. I mean, there's always been so much that you and I have needed to catch up on.
Yeah.
Too, and we've never had the opportunity.
I know. Really. Yeah. It sucks. Which is, a big, like, I was so excited. One, you were the first person to hit me up about doing the episode. Yep.
Yeah.
And two, I was just, like, excited to see you.
Sweet.
Everyone that I've scheduled so far, I've reached out to.
Yeah.
And like I said, before we started filming, like, a lot of these episodes, unfortunately, are going to be burners until things grow.
Yep.
But, like, people that I have coming up are, like, Andy Gary, who owns High Roller.
Yeah, Andy's awesome.
Was also a big part of the music scene.
Absolutely.
Dan Kelly, who created that.
Yep.
Kevin and I are going to do an episode, but probably when we come back to summer or bike riding weather.
Yeah.
Because I very specifically want the intro video to be a time lapse of us on our motorcycles, GoPro chest rigs, going from his studio to mine. You know
that'd
what I
be
mean?
awesome.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned about Kevin pretty quick. He that man loves motorcycles.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things we still bond over, him and I. So we talked about this one and this one. What's going on here? got four handsome fellas laying on the floor.
Yeah, so this is a band promo, if you can believe it. So this is my band 30 Seconds Go, which I shouldn't call it my band. I am a part of it. The guy leaning on me in the black, his name is Bobby. I've known Bobby most of my life, honestly, through school. Did you ever
what's his last name?
Bobby Turcotte.
Yeah.
He went to Morris.
Oh, my God. He used to scream.
Yeah.
And other bands.
Yeah, he still does.
Me and him, and we used to fucking play music at the skate park together.
Yeah. And the guy laying down...
That was the first time I stole one of Devin's riffs.
The guy laying down is Dalton. And Bobby and Dalton have been friends like my whole life. And they were the ones that jammed together. They used to make... They used to listen to a lot of bands like, Ed Gein, See You Next Tuesday, stuff like that, and they wanted to make stuff like that. And so back then I thought that was lame and just noise. So I remember I'd always rag on them. But they did used to go to the skate park and try and like form bands and stuff. So they actually started this band, 30 Seconds Go, I think back in the Morse days. Like it was just like, they just sort of like put stuff together on their computers. And
and they used like bubble writing and like fluorescent green and pink for like,
Yeah,
it
was around
holy fuck, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what they did. And then, jump to a year ago, and Bobby and Dalton wanted to make something serious of this. And the guy to the left of me on this screen is Caleb. He's our guitarist. Caleb Marsters.
Marsters. Yeah. Does he have a brother named Andrew?
I actually don't know any of his family's name.
That's fine.
To be totally honest. He might, but I just never met any of his family other than his dad. But I met him a few years ago through some mutual friends, just jamming and whatnot. And Bobby knew that, this guy loves Tony Danza. This guy loves Ed Gein. This guy just likes a lot of the same technical music that I like. So Bobby reached out to him and was like, hey, let's do like a mathcore band. And I can use my old project, 30 Seconds Go. I might be totally explaining all this wrong, but it's a rough idea of what happened, too. Bobby's probably going to listen to me and be like, dude, this is not how it happened. But this is my version of what happened. They just got together, and then Bobby reached out to me and said, we're going to need drums. So, you in?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So, we got together and put together an EP, and so we needed to take band promos. But this was difficult because Dalton, who's laying on the floor, he lives in Michigan.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what we've had to do this whole time is Caleb writes all the tracks, and he's mapped out a lot of the drums, too. I've helped with some of the stuff, but a lot of it's been him in his own personal studio. And so he did all that. Bobby put his vocals to it, and we had to send everything off to Dalton in Michigan, and he had to go to a studio nearby and put vocals to it. And actually, I believe Dalton wrote most of the lyrics for this EP. So he even had to tell Bobby, like, hey, this is what you're going to do here.
Yeah.
So it was a very long process. And so one day Dalton was like, you know what? I'm going to be coming home to see my sister's newborn, see family. When I'm there, let's just do everything we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's get this EP done. And so at the same time, Bobby was like, well, we need promo pictures. People need to see us together.
Yeah.
So that's how this came to be. We just took a bunch of different pictures together. And this just ended up being my favorite just because we look so goofy and big and dumb. And so I was just like, this is perfect. And there's actually another picture with Caleb holding a wiffle ball bat. And he was beating Dalton because Dalton's now fiance was taking this photo. And she's like, all right, you guys want to do anything else? And so Caleb did that so we could get like a reaction shot.
Yeah.
So to like have some variety. But yeah, that's what's going on here, which you wouldn't totally know unless you just heard that story because like our logo's not there or anything. It's just four dudes on the ground together.
Well, yeah, I mean, like
chilling.
like we've said, your socials have been gone for 4 years. So this specific part of what we're doing is kind of a new thing that I've started.
Yep.
And I was able to pull like 5 photos. Mm-hmm. And, a cover photo is obviously one of the more important things on your social. So I was like, okay, this is important somehow. Let's find out how.
Yeah. Even my job listed on my social is that I play drums for this band because I'm trying to promote this band.
Yeah.
We've spent so much time on this, especially Caleb spent so much time writing this new music and stuff that it's like, we got to get it out there.
Yeah.
We got to, I bet a lot of people, I always tell people, you're either going to really dig this or it's going to be some of the worst shit you think you've ever heard. Just because people just aren't into mathcore.
So, like, the black and white videos of you, like, playing with bands or playing with musicians.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the same project? I guess it can't be if that dude's across the country, yeah.
No. So, those are my 2 instrumental bands. One's called Never Odd or Even. The other's called Touch Hole. Mm-hmm. Actual band called Touch Hole. And so that's all instrumental stuff that we're doing. Caleb is in every project that I'm in.
Okay.
So, but for those projects, he's playing bass.
Gotcha.
And playing with my other buddy, Sam Landry, who plays guitar in that. And then in the band Touch Hole, we have a guy named Jordan. So those videos that I'm posting are really because I think people would be more apt to dig that And, we jam a lot of that stuff. It's not a lot of programmed stuff per se. So I put those out because I'm like, I think people will like these grooves that we're coming up with. So
yeah, I listen to them. I dig them.
I was like, you know what? I think people will like this. I'm going to put this. If I put up snippets of 30 seconds ago, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, I had to mute my camera. Like, it's like, because just a lot of, it's sort of a niche genre.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Dude, I love bands like See You Next Tuesday and okay, apparently that's Tony Tony
Danza
Tap Dance Extravaganza. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Who the fuck sings Tragic Track Jacket? Oh my God, whatever. I love bullshit bands like that.
Yeah, yeah, and bands like Duck Duck Goose. We actually, on this EP we have coming up, we have a feature with the vocalist from Arsonist Get All the Girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we have a feature with the guy from Heavy Heavy Lolo. So
that's who sings Tragic Track
Jacket.
Yes, thank you.
So we have those two features coming up, which was really awesome for all of us, but especially for Bobby and Dalton, who... I mean, back in the MySpace days, Heavy Heavy Lolo and Arsonist. Bobby's the one that showed me Arsonist Get All the Girls. Yeah. I liked that band. Heavy Heavy Lolo back in the day, I was like, I think this is garbage. Now that I'm older, listening to it again, I'm like, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
Now that I feel like I've grown as a musician and aren't so judgmental. So knowing that we got those two guys just to do a feature on some songs, like, we were like, dude, this is awesome.
That is really cool. Yeah.
We just kind of had to wait until... they were no longer huge and relevant to get it.
Yeah.
That worked in our favor.
No doubt.
Now that their bands haven't been around for years and we're like, hey, you want some money to do a feature? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked. It's awesome.
That is really cool. Yeah, it's crazy how much MySpace molded what I listen to even today.
Oh, dude, I miss it so much.
I was talking with Jesse about it because one of the bands that he found when they were small on MySpace was Icy Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And I remember we found Asking Alexandria when they had less than 5,000 friends.
Yeah.
And now they're, I don't really know what they're still dope. I don't care. I love that band.
Yeah.
But to go smaller with it, like Elijah, the band Elijah,
Oh, yeah.
I still listen to that album that they put out on MySpace today.
Yeah.
And with your eyeballs boiling.
That was off of This City is Burning Records. I remember those guys. That was the first label that had Emure.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Oh my God! Somebody brought up Emure the other day, and I was like, "Dude, yeah, I used to hang out with a guy that they would fucking stay at his house." I was talking about you, obviously.
Yeah.
Who the fuck was that? Because they were trying to say that Emure also stayed at their house, and I was like, "That's possible."
It's possible back in those early days.
Yeah.
I mean, when they did with me, that was when their first album, Goodbye to the Gals, which is still one of my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
That had just come out on Victory. So early days of their fame. Yeah.
It was original lineup, he was saying, because he was talking about how two of them are in a different band. Obviously, they're all in fucking different bands now, except for
Frankie.
Yeah.
Yep.
But whatever it was, yeah. I was stoked. I was like, yeah, oh my God, that also was a part of the group that I hung out with at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we're here, do you remember the kid who had a prosthetic leg?
Yeah, Joe Arnold.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
And he's the only one. There couldn't have been another one.
He was the one that has had a prosthetic leg my whole life. But then another buddy of mine, Alex Cogburn.
That one. Thank you.
That ended up happening because of a four-wheeling accident.
It was Alex. That's what I'm thinking of. Is he still around?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, he went to Maine Maritime Academy, and last I knew, he had a dope job.
Okay.
Working at sea. But then again, that was years ago.
Sure.
So, but he's still around.
Now that I know his name, I can hit him up. I still owe him money.
Oh, really?
For a Schecter guitar. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to jam with him. And
he
used to... he did have a Schecter.
Yeah, it was the one with the bats on the fretboard.
Yeah.
Because I remember I had $200 and he was like, I want $5. I just paid $7 for it. And I was like, well, I mean, can I pay you when I have it? I was like, I have $200. I need a fucking guitar.
Yep.
And thinking about you made me think about those times, made me think about that.
Yeah.
So Alex Cogburn, I will find you. If you find me first, buddy.
Last time I saw him was when the world was normal, years back out in the Old Port.
Oh, really?
He was just there at I don't remember what club it was. Might have been one with the name Tap in it.
Pearl Tap House?
Yeah, and we were there, and then the photographer just came over to take our picture, and I don't know why, just on the spot, I just grabbed my buddy Bubba's face, squished it together, put our lips really close to each other, like we were about to kiss, and then Alex is right next to us doing this really goofy smile.
Was it a male photographer?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, was that Anthony Tobias?
No, it was this female walking around just taking pics of everyone, doing jello shots. But instead, I thought that I'd almost kiss my friend for her. And she took the picture and just kind of walked away like, all right.
That's not the reaction I was hoping for.
Yeah, she was like expecting us to either just all to get together, chug, even though I had water. Yeah. And I think I totally ruined her plans for that photo.
I got to say, the whole Edge thing with you is crazy to me. Like... One, I think you have probably held true to it longer than anyone else that I've ever known.
My whole life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two, just like the amount of outside influence that you've not succumbed to.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking
People
wild.
People still talk to me about that all the time. Like, I get people that I grew up with who are just like, I have no idea how you still haven't touched anything with... And, you know, for people that don't know me, I grew up in a household where drugs and drinking were there my entire life.
Yeah.
Literally my entire life. I saw people doing coke when I was in, like, elementary school. Like, it's just been there my whole life. So, just, yeah.
It's also cool that you've never been judgmental about it. Like, because obviously, you know me, I've been heavily involved with, you know, drugs and alcohol my entire life. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, I'd be doing blow with Doug across the hall and just come back and hang out with you, and like it was never an issue.
Yeah,
you know, like
it was just my life.
We were still friends, like no matter what, and all of your friends.
Yeah,
you know, you've still been friends with all of your friends like your entire life, no matter what their level of indulgence was. You know, and that's fucking cool, man. Because there's plenty of sober or edge people that like won't hang out with me or won't hang out with anybody.
Yeah,
you know, me specifically or not.
Yeah,
you know, there's very few people that are just like as fucking down to earth about it as you are.
Yeah, and I don't even call myself edge anymore. Like, I did back in the day, like, I was very hardcore, like, I'm straight edge.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you should label me as. And now, today, I'm just like, I just don't drink and smoke. Like, I don't give myself a label. But people that do know me still call me edge, and I'm like, whatever. It's just more so, I think some people, when I told them I was edge, they'd be like, oh, okay. Like, you know, it sort of put some sort of a stigma. So, I guess that's why I don't say it. But I do remember back in the day, I used to want other people to be straight edge with me. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted that. So there were times when I got upset where, like, some of my bandmates I thought would be straight edge with me ended up drinking. And I like, one night I even, like, got pretty emotional. Because I was like, I thought we were going to be edge together. Yeah. But, you know, we didn't, and it happens. But
do I know who you're referring to?
Kyle, Tobias, and Josh Driscoll, who was the bassist and guitarist of Brutal Intentions. Yeah. I wanted us to be, like, an edge band. Doug was our vocalist. I knew that wasn't gonna happen. He had his own things that he liked. And yeah.
Josh was the shorter kid, right?
Who's taller than me.
Pretty like I was gonna sub for him, right?
Oh no, you're thinking of well, actually now I think about it. Well, no, you were gonna sub on bass. You were gonna sub for Dilly. Dylan Moreau. Yeah, because I don't remember what he was doing. He might have been off at college.
Yeah, it was a school or military thing or something.
Yeah, he was just gone, and so, yeah. No, he's like, I think he's actually shorter than me. Yeah, so, yeah, that's who you were gonna sub for. That was later on, and was Josh in Brutal Intentions at that time?
No,
he was off at the military.
It was Kyle, Devin, Dilly.
Was it Crocker?
Gavin. Nope.
Crocker wasn't filling in. No.
Huh.
At one point, he filled in.
That's all five.
Yeah.
Because you got Devin and Kyle. No, Kyle wasn't in it.
No, because Dilly had taken his spot. Kyle was. I think it was me, Gavin, Devin, and then I thought Crocker was in at that point, but he might not. He came in at some point near the end. I know that because the last Brutal Intentions show, he was the second guitarist. I know that, but we went through a lot of lineup shit.
Yeah.
At that point in time, which is just when it all just sort of came crashing down, I guess. Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, because Doug was in not Sawtopsy, fuck. What the fuck was the name of the band that Doug was in at that time? With Toast and...
Periodic Plagues?
Yes.
That was... well, I think their first name was Catharsis.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep.
And then they changed it to Periodic Plagues because they saw there's so many other bands.
Yeah.
Catharsis. But Yeah, that's because we kicked him out. Oh, God. I just have to tell this story. So, Doug was the vocalist of Brutal Intentions, of course.
Real quick.
Yep.
Doug, R.I.P.
Yes.
Love you forever.
Yeah, man. I wish I'd talked to him more before that occurred, but it was unfortunate. But yeah, so, and he would love me telling this story.
Oh, I know.
He was our vocalist, and, we were kind of like, we don't know if we really want this guy anymore. So we knew of this guy named Gavin at school, and we had heard from Bobby that this guy sounds like I Killed the Prom Queen. Mm-hmm. And we loved them back then. We were like, this guy, his vocals sound like I Killed the Prom Queen. And Bobby's like, yeah, you should give this guy a shot. And so we brought him over to jam with us, telling Doug, hey, this guy's trying out for one of our buddies' bands. So we just want to get his confidence up. We want to help him out so he can achieve this. And Doug's like, oh, yeah, cool. He can use my PA and everything. And we all jammed together. Even Doug and him shared the mic without Doug's knowledge that this guy's actually trying out for us.
Yeah.
We're doing this secretly because, we're scumbags. We're just totally using you. And then, yeah, we had Doug book our CD release show, put everything together. And then the next day, because we actually liked how Gavin sounded, we kicked Doug out. And, yeah, so that happened.
Yeah.
We did that to Doug. Poor guy.
We've all done questionable stuff to our homies.
True that. And you know what's weird is he was living with me.
Yeah.
At that time.
Across the hall. Where I was doing cocaine.
So it's like he still lived with me. I wasn't like, oh, you're out of the band and you have to leave.
Right.
No, you're just out of the band. And now, you have to start your own musical path while we still live together. And, yeah, that was, I don't know. It was just so odd. I don't know. I don't know how I didn't think that was more awkward at the time.
Yeah.
But we just...
It worked out. I mean, because he did.
It did.
He did start another band and, several. And he was fucking nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, he's best known for Blades of Indica,
yep.
I believe, with Crocker.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know that Crocker actually is hoping to re-record some of their old stuff as a tribute for, because
I just saw him post that it wasn't Blades of Indica, but it was something involving Blades in the hashtag, and he was talking about doing music again.
Yeah, because I talked to him, because I was telling him, if you want to play live shows with Blades for, tributes and stuff, I'll totally do it.
Yeah.
I would love to be the drummer for that project. He's like, I think I might just put out some tunes, as a tribute, because not only did Doug pass away, who was in Blades, Dale DeGroot also passed away.
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, and, of course, he's actually the reason I saw you again after all those years, because his band Grey Winds was playing in Wyndham.
Yep.
So I'm like, I gotta go. And then I see you're there, and that's when I heard, oh, yeah, his band's rocking it. So, yeah, man, rest in peace, Dale, too. Lost too many homies. You good?
No, that beer just gave me Corona.
It would have been funny if you said that while you're drinking a Corona.
Oh, man. Yeah. That would have been good. I do drink Corona a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You think their sales have gone down?
No.
No?
The opposite.
100%. Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Huh.
Because, I drink Corona when I, go out.
Yep.
And, when this shit, before the big furlough happened where there was, a lockdown and everything.
Yeah.
I started buying it at home. Because, I'd walked into the beer aisle and, just Corona. You know, it was just at the top of your mind. Yeah. And our bass player was like, I've never seen you drink Corona at your house. And I was like, subliminal advertising, clearly.
That's right.
And I'm not the only one dumb enough to fucking participate in that. So no, I don't feel like it affected them negatively at all.
Oh, God. I remember I saw some meme when this started that there was a COVID brewing. That's this company's name, COVID Brewing.
Oh, fuck.
And they just posted yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, we didn't want to have a business. It's totally cool. Yeah, just no one's going to want to drink us now.
Yeah.
That's fine. Only just trying to build up this small business. It's no big deal. Thanks, COVID.
So snapping forward to 2020. Ooh, yes! There it is. So I was at Walmart today. And Crystal was asking me, who are you filming tonight? Because, I have, a specific calendar in my phone that, well, you have an iPhone?
I have a Google Pixel.
Okay. Well, you probably got the notification somehow when I, share the event with you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So with iPhones, you can share like total calendars.
Oh yeah.
So rather than try to remind her like every week that I have 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, I just like shared the calendar with her, and she's like, "Who are you? Who are you with tonight?" And I was like, "Brandon Doughty," and she's like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, this kid from high school, known him for a long time, blah blah blah." And I was like, "I think he's married. I also think he's having a girl." And I didn't have my phone with me. My middle child had it at home, and she's like, "Well, you should know that." And I was like, "I know, but like, I also think he just got socials back. Like, I'm not really sure what's going on." And so she's like, "Well, use my phone." So I like went to look you up, and you're private, but it says who you're married to. So I clicked on that. Okay. I was like, "Okay, he's definitely married." And I was scrolling, and I was like, "Okay, it's definitely a girl."
Yeah.
And so she was like, "Well, you definitely have to give him some stuff." So we have.
Oh, is that what this is here?
Yeah,
for?
that's what this is. Yeah.
Oh,
so she got you Pampers newborn. Because that's what they give you in most of the hospitals, and that's what she stuck with.
Oh,
and then
okay.
some bows because she thinks that girls have to have bows. Lennox has a million of them, and a little hat, and a little outfit. And the receipt is in the hat in case those are not the diaper brand your wife wants to use.
Okay.
You can return them.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, those are for you.
I appreciate that.
Congratulations, dude. I'm super excited for you.
That's very thankful.
Yeah.
Or I'm very thankful, I should say.
No
That's
worries.
very thoughtful of you to do.
Yeah, I mean, your wife will decide what kind of fucking diaper she wants to use. So that's why the receipt's there. Women are super picky about that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Has she decided what she's going to use? Do you know?
We talked a lot about trying to be like environmentally conscious and using plant-based ones, but then as we're looking at prices, we're like, hey, we're going to be in a budget. So
yeah, that shit's for rich
we
people,
don't
dude.
know. It's really just, it's going to be what we think will work and what we can afford, I think is honestly. We have not said this brand for sure.
Yeah.
Unless she has one in her head and she hasn't told me.
Sure.
But no, she'll be super appreciative of this, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, man, the receipt's in there. So even if you need to return it and buy a different kind of diaper, like fucking please do.
All right.
You can't return the bows though. I picked those out. That's all I picked out.
No. That stuff's staying. That's for sure. I think someone else was talking about buying us bows too. I think it's the first thing people think of when you're having a girl.
Yeah,
it's
you can't have enough bows, man. Dude,
bows.
It's ridiculous. She's got bows that like take up like 30% of her face. Like she's got like huge ones too, and then like little subtle ones, and she's growing a solid mullet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like the hair on the top of her head's not really growing, but the hair on the back of her head's like it's down
Perfect.
to her shoulders, so she's got a solid mullet right now.
Joe Dirte. Nice.
Yeah, 100%. I'm honestly kind of jealous because like the back of my hair grows the slowest.
Yep.
Like my bangs will be able to touch the back of my head, and the back of my head won't be touching my shoulder yet. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But she's got it. She's strong. She's strong on the mullet game.
Yeah, I'm
my
interested.
baby, not my girlfriend.
Got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see the hair patterns of my daughter because I have a lineage of women in my family who are more hairy than they would like to be,
Sure.
like mustaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that seems to just be my, pretty much my wife and I have a running joke that she's probably going to get like all the worst features of mine, like my really bushy eyebrows, my gap, my front teeth. Like it's just, that's what she's getting. So I was like, yeah, she's probably getting a mustache too. I'm just like,
isn't the gap in the front teeth like that's like a L'Oreal thing, dude? Like that's sought after.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used to get picked on for it in elementary school, but maybe I could be a model now. Maybe that's what I need to.
To be clear, we've all thought you should be a model since like 9th grade. So
well, then I should have done that. I shouldn't have gone to college. I should have just done that.
Yeah, but you'd be aged out by now, and
that's true.
You
Yeah,
know?
I'd be old news. I'd be looking back on my career, and just wondering why I'm not 16 anymore modeling. But yeah, seriously, thank you, dude.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
I didn't know what this was honestly on here for. So, like, I didn't know if you went shopping before. So
yeah,
that's
I just
very
left
nice
my
of you.
shit on the table. The Rogan picture's still on the table because I haven't fucking hung it up yet. I don't know why, but I got that flag up there that was locally sourced.
Nice.
I wish I could remember who made it. Crystal actually asked the guy to make it. Otherwise, I would shout him out. But yeah, the Rogan one's going up there. And then I have another one that's the that like fucking famous Steve Jobs quote. The one that's like I don't know, tells you to be a rebel. You know what I'm talking about? It's like
yeah, he's
and
learned a lot of his quotes in college because you're trying to get inspired and like didn't realize how inspirational this dude could be.
Yeah. So again, talking about your excellence in drumming, you know, it's funny that you were so down on yourself for so long because how many features is this right here? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different features?
So since I've returned to Insta and Facebook, I think I have 4 that have been published right now, and I have 3 other pages that want to publish me right now. And I kept telling them, because these 4 pages all released the same video.
Yeah.
So I told these other people, I want to make a new video. I want more to go out there. So, yeah, I pretty much just have told them, let me put out a new video, which I actually just did today. So I will have more features going up. But, yeah, just super excited that you can just put certain hashtags on a video and people will reach out to you and be like, yeah, we'd love to show you off. I've had some people say, we'll just throw you on our page. I've had other people say, we do charge like a $10 promo charge, but we have 100,000 followers.
Right.
So people will see you. So I look at it as a marketing fee.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much. So, whatever I can to get not just my name out there, but really my band's.
Yeah.
I want to get that stuff out there. So, I've been super stoked on these. And I feel weird because I've posted it on socials being like, thank you, these guys, super stoked my stuff got featured. And then I'm thinking like, are people going to think I'm egotistical? Because I'm like, yeah, check me out.
No, 100% not.
Because that's where that goes back to all the self-doubt stuff. Yeah. And then, I'm just like, nah, man, like, these people dig you. And they have like tens of thousands of followers. Like, just enjoy it. Enjoy that people like your stuff. So try to embrace that.
I wish Crocker would do a tribute set. Because I assume he would play guitar. I would 100% do vocals for that.
I think maybe he will eventually. I think even just like one tribute show. I would love for it to be in Bath, like at the V-Dub Hall, where we used to do all the shows. Like, KFC. I would love for it to be there. Yeah, yeah. And so I would love for that to happen. I do wonder when shows and stuff happen if he's going to get the inkling, like, I should do this. Yeah. And like we can, like, I don't know, even if it's a show to like raise some money or something for a good cause. Like, we've lost a lot of buddies to suicide and whatnot. Yeah. Raising some money.
Suicide awareness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, anything like that, like, I really want to keep talking to him about that.
Yeah.
Just want to do that stuff because I know now, of course, he has all the gear to make his shit sound way better than it did when he first put it out. So I want that to be a thing.
Yeah.
I want that to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a solid idea. I think that he should do that.
Yeah, and I just remember like how much, like, I don't know if there's much better than playing a show. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, there's a better feeling.
The only thing better than playing a show, in my opinion, would be getting your dick sucked while playing a show.
That hasn't happened to me.
Oh, okay.
But
where you been?
I've been off the grid, apparently.
It's a whole thing.
This is so fucking random. I'm gonna go off for a second. It just reminds me of this photo of the vocalist of the band Anal Cunt, who is getting a blowjob while shooting heroin with a guitar cord wrapped around his arm on stage.
That sounds pretty nice.
I don't think it was during a set. I think it was before or after, but I saw that on like Reddit one day. I was like, holy shit. But anyways, playing shows are awesome.
Yeah, I love playing shows, man.
And that's why I really hope the world can get back to some normalcy soon, because it really puts things into perspective of like, I need to see more artists and I need to do more of what I enjoy.
Yep.
When you can, because you never know when it can be taken from you.
Just like now. Nobody expected it to be like this.
Exactly. I put off going to so many shows. I put off doing so many musical projects. And this whole thing has put it into perspective for me.
Dude,
do it.
Minimize it even more. So, like, I put off going to the fucking park with my kids.
Yeah.
Can't even do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we even talk, my wife and I talk now, we hope that the world is somewhat back to normal for our daughter's sake. Yeah. We don't want her to grow up thinking that, this is the way everything has to be for your whole life.
Right.
Like, you need to stay away from people. You need to wear masks all the time. You need to constantly stress. If you cough once, like, do I have it? Like, just want things to go back to normal for her sake growing up, and just because I'm selfish. I want life back. We all do.
Dude, literally all of us do.
We all do.
And I've talked about that on, like, every episode I've done so far is, like, I posted a picture today. I was like, it was a girl crying, and the caption was like, I just want to dance in a sweaty room with my friends again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went like way overboard when I was talking about it with Dan, my first episode. I was like, dude, I just want to be able to fucking like fall in a pile of puke and not, like, I don't want puke on me, but like, bro, like if I'm downtown and I'm drunk and I fall in someone's fucking puke, like, I just want the opportunity. you know?
Yeah, I just want to go to a show where there's just a bunch of bands that I'm stoked to see. I want to try slam dancing, only to have Aaron Lapid just absolutely almost knock me out cold, and me just be like, I shouldn't get on this floor anymore. I want that back.
Yeah.
I want those moments back.
Yeah.
And to just, I think honestly, that's why I'm doing a lot more music. Like, you know, I was telling you earlier, I'm in so many projects right now that aren't even up and going yet, but they're going to be because, you know, not only can you do so much stuff remotely and map out drums on your own time and on your own shit now, but like life's too short. You just do what you want to do. I also hope to inspire my child with that thinking.
Yep.
Like, do what you like and go all in. I like multiple types of music. I'm going to write multiple types of music. So you should, because you never know when it could be taken away from you.
I'm going to be.
I am fine.
I don't even know where we left off.
So the band Anal Cunt.
Yeah. They know how to patty.
Yeah. We were chatting about? We were talking about shows no longer being a thing. Nothing better than getting a nice blowy
on
while
stage,
playing a show.
Well, the benefit your daughter will have, though, if she does grow up in this, is that there won't be like a comparison of normalcy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hope this is not the rest of our life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the silver lining is, like, you know, my older kids, my youngest doesn't know what the fuck's going on, obviously, but like my older kids, they're like, you know, why did my life change? Mm-hmm. Where if she's born into it, just like, I was born into the darkness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is life.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's like being, what was Carl's little sister's name on The Walking Dead?
Carl, why am I spacing on this? Judith,
yeah. Your daughter will be like Judith, you know?
Yeah, this is just, you know, I never thought of that. Because my wife and I are huge Walking Dead fans.
Really?
I should tell her that. Our daughter's going to be, and then my wife will be like, I fucking hope not.
Yeah, right?
I don't want life to be like this.
Yeah.
For her. But that's a good analogy. I never even thought about that. Like,
yeah.
It's just...
Like, for my kids, it's
life.
like, this is not the world it used to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They're going to be talking like old farts, like back in my day.
Yeah.
You used to be able to raw dog air. Now you can't.
Dude.
So...
I was, like, just fucking around with a coworker a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, and he's like, yeah, you know, wearing the mask thing's kind of crazy. I was like, dude, I can't even eat a stranger's asshole anymore.
Yeah, someone has to quarantine before you can eat their ass.
Yeah.
It's just
fucking crazy.
What a world we live in.
I wonder if porn production has come to a halt because of this.
All I knew, thanks to Reddit, was that Pornhub Premium was free.
Yep. I jumped on that one.
That's really all I learned. It's because there were so many memes about that.
Yeah.
That I ended up seeing. That's all I knew about the porn industry. Yeah, I do wonder how they're doing.
Because like I know a lot of them go through like AIDS tests and HIV tests and all that shit like before filming or like every 2 weeks or like something like that. Like I wonder if it's slowed down to the point where, you know, you got to fucking take a test and quarantine for 2 weeks before you can record a porn.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like the scare, like if you do act out a scene with someone and then you find out shortly after that, like, oh, they tested positive, you're like, oh, fuck.
I wonder what would be scarier, an AIDS positive test or a COVID positive test?
I hope I get neither throughout my lifetime. But I don't know. Knock on everything.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually just cured the second AIDS patient ever in the world like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. How many COVID people have they cured? Oh, way more than that. Never mind. A lot. Way more than that.
I am interested, you know, because now the COVID vaccine looks like it's going to be here. Like, not for us for a while, but here. And I think I'm in the group of everyone that's saying, I don't know when I'm going to take that thing.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about it, man. Like,
I want life to go back to normal, but I don't want to be one of the I Am Legend creatures. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Because that's the premise of that movie, right? There's like something that eliminates cancer. People get all the vaccines, and the world just goes to shit.
Yep.
So you like have that image in your brain of like, I don't want to become one of these monster things. Like, I'm gonna wait.
And also, there was the whole thing where, like, and so many people bought into it. And I called so many people stupid. Where they were like, "Oh, well, the vaccination is going to lead to chipping and blah blah blah," and the Democrats and all this shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, speaking to which way I lean politically, but it fucked me up that there were so many people like, the Democrats want to chip you with the vaccine, and then a Democrat got elected, and then all of a sudden the fucking vaccine was available the next day.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I've also heard that it's been available, but it's been suppressed in the media and blah, blah, blah. Or not available, but, like, coming out. Yeah. But literally it was like, Biden got elected, had a really good speech, and then, like, the next day they're like, by the way, the vaccine's on its way. And I was like, I fucking wish I didn't read so much bullshit on social media.
Yeah, there's so much out there right now, man. It sucks. But, I mean, with just how quickly they've pushed this thing through, and I'm not trying to discredit the scientists. I mean, they've been working hard on this, and kudos to them. I couldn't do it. But it's just like...
Not with that attitude.
Man, yeah, that's right. Not with that attitude, that's right. But just like, it's just a personal thing. Like, I don't know. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see how this goes. I want life back to normal, but I also don't want to feel like I'm going to die. So...
Yeah, I mean, they're just... I feel like they couldn't have tested it on enough people to really know.
Yeah.
And if they were, why are these people not on the news being like, bro, they gave me that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Yeah. Or vice versa. Why are there not people being like, bro, they gave him that shit and he's a puddle now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And it's so weird that we're so afraid of it, or that there are people that are afraid of it, because like we take the flu vaccine with zero hesitation.
Yeah.
And absolutely. It's like, it makes me think of like religion, where like Christianity can be accepted, but Scientology can't because it's too new. Mm-hmm. The flu vaccine can be accepted, but the COVID one can't be because it's too new.
It's new. Yeah.
But the thing is, if you came out with a new sex position tomorrow, I'd try it.
Oh. When you put it like that.
Exactly. Like, or some new, like, there's been so many substances put in front, like drugs or alcohol, where someone's like, bro, this shit here came out yesterday. And I'm like, well, which hole's it going in?
It's going in.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, this will keep you alive. And I'm like, ah!
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Human perception is so weird. But we're only hesitant because of the fucking amount of time that was put into, the media on both sides of it. Like, Republicans said the Democrats were evil and they were going to chip you, and there was nothing to worry about, and the fucking thing wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. And percentage-wise, it's not. I hate to say that, but like the black and white part of it's not, like compared to like the flu or H1N1 or anything else. And then the Democrats were like, the fucking Republicans are stupid. They don't want you to get vaccinated. They want you to fucking die. Mm-hmm. Like, if there wasn't this huge battle about who was right, this bipartisanship bullshit, if we were just being humanitarians about it, and we were all working together just to get the vaccine, like, imagine if it were just like an entire country unified on, let's stay safe and wait for this vaccine.
Like movies.
And then the vaccine came out, we'd all be like, let's fucking boot it up. But because we're all so mad at each other, it's like no one can believe the other one about, the efficacy or the safety or like anything like that. And like, it sucks.
And I just read today, and I didn't read the article or anything. I just saw the headline that Bush and Clinton
and Obama
are all going to do it live. Get the vaccine live. And I think Obama said he's going to wait till it's available to like the younger public to try to make them feel good. But regardless, they want to do it live so that they can show people like it's safe.
You want to see something crazy?
What is it?
I'm about to take the COVID vaccine right in front of you. Like what does that actually mean? Just because you say something in a syringe or something doesn't mean that it is. And I only think that way because I've been conditioned to.
That's right.
I fucking hate it.
That's right. It's really just water in that.
Yeah.
And they're just getting water.
It's that adrenochrome or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm just anxious to see how this all plays out. Because as we were talking earlier, we want life back to normal. But I'm also like, I'm going to just wait and just see what happens with this to make sure it actually helps people.
Yeah.
Because, of course, our whole hope is everyone's going to be able to get this, everyone will get this, and then we can go back to normal. I'm pretty sure that's everyone's hope with this.
But, yes, and what's crazy to me, though, is, like, there was a comedian, I listen to a lot of fucking comedy. I think it was Chris Rock that was talking about syphilis, and he was like, if the entire world just didn't fuck for 2 weeks, syphilis is eradicated. Like when it came to this lockdown stuff, like if we would have just actually done it, for 2 weeks, it would be gone.
Yep.
And I'm not, dude. I'm talking out of both ends of my mouth because like during this whole entire thing, I was like, what loopholes? What bar can I go to?
Yeah.
Where can I get social interaction?
Oh yeah.
You know, but I never got it. So if I never got it, I never gave it to anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like why didn't we? Why didn't we just truly lock our fucking doors? That we wouldn't have to worry about a vaccine. We wouldn't have to worry about spreading it. We wouldn't have to worry about Thanksgiving. And this is the 1 year anniversary of 2 weeks to flatten the curve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, eventually, yes, I'll also take it, but I also just wish that we were a fucking competent enough country to realize that like a real lockdown would have fucking helped. Solved it.
It would have helped so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was one of those people too who, and even still to this day, like I will
Clearly,
say,
we're in the same room.
I will say we should have all just been away from each other, been in our houses, don't ever leave. But then later that day, I'd be like, you know, we should get out of the house. Let's go to a drive-through, you know, to get some food, you know, like, and I just battle with that in my head. Like, you know I should stay home, but then I'm also like, I should get out for like 5 minutes, right? Like, you know, and not just to my backyard. Like I should like drive somewhere, right? Like, you know, I've had battled with that conflict in my head this whole time.
You know, there was I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but because of this quarantine, I've made like 4 really good new friends because there's Applebee's, dude, in South Portland. Like they never once had to close for an outbreak. They stayed open as late as they could, as late as the mandates allowed them to all the time.
Yep.
And I go for drinks every night. Like I went to Applebee's for lunch. You know what I mean? Because like I needed, while I was shopping, I had to go somewhere to get
Applebee's.
Yeah. And it's not even that I love Applebee's specifically, but it's like I love the enabler. You know.
Also like interaction.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's nice. Get to talk to people.
And I've done this literally 5 days a week since this whole entire thing started. Because like I'm not going downtown. I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking Applebee's, and like I go there so much that the bartender and her boyfriend like went to dinner with me and Crystal on my birthday. Like that's how close.
Really?
We got. Yeah, that's how close we got because of how often I go there.
Nice.
But it just makes me think, like, if I've been that reckless, quote unquote, irresponsible, quote unquote, and I've not gotten anything, like, how the fuck are people catching this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm knock on everything too. I'm thankful enough to say that I haven't caught it, or at least haven't shown any signs to where I should go get tested.
Yeah.
You know, because I have other people asking me, you know, do you think most of us have actually already had it and we just didn't show any symptoms? Like, there's that thought too.
Yeah. Carriers, asymptomatic.
Yeah. Because if you're asymptomatic, you wouldn't know. So it's just like, I've had a lot of people, you know, ask me that too. You know, do you think that really, like, we could just go back to normal? But, and, you know, I don't know. As we've talked about earlier, there's so much information out there. Whether it's misinformation, whether it's one political side or the other. Like, there's just
alternative
so
facts.
much. Yeah, there's so much out there that, I don't know. Just as you said, if we all could have just came together, just done this for the greater good. If it could have been a Hollywood movie where, like, one dude develops if John Cusack just developed a vaccine and we all got it, sweet.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that.
No. And here we fucking are, literally a year later. God damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's already passed by that quick.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do?
And who knows when it's going to go back to normal? Who the hell knows?
I was actually talking about this with Mike last week, my last guest. You know, I was like, I'm 100% willing to wear a mask everywhere, every day, whatever, if it saves one life.
Yep.
You know, but like when the George Floyd incident happened, the virus definitely it was on the back burner because there was a more important subject on the table.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like the longer these mandates last, like eventually it'll be a much smaller happening that turns us all off to it again. And then it'll happen again over something a lot smaller, and then a lot smaller, and then we're just gonna go fuck it, you know?
Yeah.
And there will be two camps. So there will be the people that say fuck it, and the people that don't.
Yeah.
You know, people will continue to wear masks, and there will be people that just fucking don't. And like, I'm not sure at this point. Like, I'm not sure what camp I fall into.
It's crazy looking back. you remember when we would hear on the news about some virus or something going around, and you would see like one person at like the supermarket like wearing a mask or something.
Yeah.
Even though a virus was in China, Japan, Taiwan, wherever, you would see someone in the store wearing a mask, and you would just be like, "Hell's wrong with that person?"
Right.
Like, you would think that they were crazy.
Yeah.
And now it's the world.
Yep.
Now every single day when you're about to go in somewhere, can't tell you how many times you go, "Oh shit, my mask!" Like, that's your life now.
Yep.
It's just,
and we've been
crazy.
Conditioned so quickly. We've been conditioned to now when you're out in that same public setting and there's one person without a mask to damify them.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. And sometimes when you see that person, I think I had this recently happen in Hannaford. Like, this person knew, and they had the look on their face, as if they forgot their mask. Like, it's not like I'm doing this on purpose. Like, They're just kind of looking around like, guys, like, I know I'm a piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry, I just forgot my mask.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, so these people get demonized. And it's just crazy how we look at people like that now. Like, if you don't have a mask on, you're inconsiderate. Like, all this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think you already told me, but when is your wife due?
March 28th, 2021.
March 28th, so right around the corner. It's like 4 months away.
Yeah, it's been coming quickly.
3 months. We're in December.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so about, say roughly like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Roughly timeline. Yeah.
You guys feel like you're all set, like physically? Like, do you have the shit you need?
Most of the stuff. I mean, we still have a lot of items that we need, and we actually just made a registry. Like,
oh, really?
We finally were like, we need to do this, especially with the holidays coming up. If people, normally people ask me what I want, and I'll just say like gift cards and stuff. Now I'm saying, I would love items for my daughter.
Yeah.
If you really want to get me something, because normally I actually tell people, don't give me anything. I don't feel like I need anything.
Sure.
Now it's like, yeah, this car seat's expensive, so like if you want to help, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fast approaching, and I know it's gonna be here before I know it. It's already been passing by like crazy, and now that my wife is showing like more and more by the day, I'm pretty sure it's just like, this is real. This is real. You get to see the ultrasounds, hear the heartbeat. You're like, nah, there's a human that's coming into our lives soon.
Yep.
And it's gonna change quickly. So yeah, I just know it's gonna be here before I even know it, and I hope I'm as prepared as I can be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your wife. Don't over prepare.
Yeah.
Don't have a mindset that's set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like if you do, that the minor inconveniences are going to become major.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do agree with her on that. But dude, I do wish you the best of luck. I think this is a great spot to wrap it up.
All right, perfect.
Before we do that, I do want you to shout out any socials that you like to, whether it's your personal Instagram or the Instagram of the 19 projects that you're in.
So really just want to mention, check me out on Instagram at bdoughty207. You spell my last name Doughty. A lot of people, when I say Doughty, they just have no idea how to spell it. And my projects that are on Instagram are 30 Seconds Go, and then I have a Nintendo Core project called the Sharks Megabyte, and then official NOOE is my Insta tag for Never Otter Even, and then my newest project, Touchhole, is at touchhole.band. Those are the 4 projects that I have on social right now that if people want to check it out, that'd be awesome.
Well, you heard it from the handsome man himself, Brandon Doughty, dude. I'm so happy that you're here today. I'm glad we got to catch up.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We'll have to do another one in a couple of months, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, just whenever I'm free. Well, once the child comes late March, probably have to schedule ahead of time. But until then, I'm totally free.
Dude, next time your wife can come down. She can go in with Crystal, and they can just do mom-kid stuff.
Yeah, get her out of the house. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
definitely.
do it earlier in the day or something.
Yeah. Yeah, right on, man. That'd be awesome. And cool. Thanks for having me. Thanks for providing Sunkiss. This is awesome. It's the best time I could have had.
Yeah, I try to accommodate, brother.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.